Ah, yes, indeed. What is that secret? We get ever closer to that answer every time we play. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome to June 9th, Tuesday, June 9th, 12:24 p.m. in the year of our Lord, etc., etc. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope everyone is looking forward to today's session, day 9 of Dragonbane, the Secret of the Dragon Emperor, an episode we are calling Creeping Fort Malice. Very excited to play this with all of you and to be back in the saddle with this awesome game. Before we go any further, a couple of quick reminders about ways to support the channel. If you have not done so already, please make sure to follow the channel. Please make sure to check out our YouTube at !ArvTube, and please consider subscribing to me over there. It's free for you to do that, but it really helps us out. Discord is !ArvCord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Blue Sky is !ArvSky. I am at a new record level of followers over there, so thank you if you're part of that number, and if you're not, please consider doing so. !ArvSky for that. And the website for all this is arvaneleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area. !ArvTrayon is the Patreon, which is currently sitting at right now $64 a month, has ticked up a little bit, and that's great, with a couple more free members as well. Please consider jumping on board. You will get some cool stuff for yourself and cool stuff for the channel as we move towards various channel goals as well. That's !ArvTrayon. Also subbing to the channel, as Tren was kind enough to do just a little bit ago, gets you those custom sub badges. Remember, we have them all the way up to the 10-year mark now, so we've got tons and tons of sub badges for all of your sub badging needs, the coveted quills that you have, plus those custom emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch done by our very own TariTunes. So those are all available to you there as well. On the publishing front, !Icarus, that's my graphic novel from Athos Arts. !Library is my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And !Greyshade is my Greyshade IP. That's Greyshade Renegade Heretic, the Grey Assassin Trilogy, available at that link. You can also get the audiobooks of Greyshade Renegade and Heretic from our very own Tren Sparks at that link. And you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade, coming to you from Brandon O'Brien as the lead designer and Alligator Alley Entertainment. That has moved much closer now to publication. We are really coming close here, so make sure that you get those pre-orders in. Very excited to be able to get that game out into the world. All that with !Greyshade. And as always, !BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. !Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And !Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message we'll do so for others in that situation in the future. Also, much love, as always, to the people of Minnesota, specifically Minneapolis, to the people of Memphis, to the people of Newark, New Jersey, all those fighting against federal occupation and doing so with bravery and courage. Keep it up. We see you. You're doing amazing work. We love you, and please continue to inspire as you do every day. Quick note about schedule. We've got Dragonbane going on right now at 4 p.m. Eastern. I will be over on GOG.com's Twitch channel, and I will be playing me some more of Viewfinder. This is probably the final session of Viewfinder. I suspect there is a possibility it might slip into next week, but I think this is going to be the final session of Viewfinder, I believe. Then we'll be moving on to some new game over there. Then tomorrow, I believe we have Community D&D, although I should double check very quickly just to make sure I'm not talking out of school. Let's go over here, put that up there, double check here. Yes, as I thought, Community D&D is tomorrow. And then Thursday the 11th, we have D&D with viewers playing Up the Beanstalk. As we continue with that, that is actually going to be the final session of Up the Beanstalk, will be Thursday the 11th. And then on Saturday, the 13th, we have the premiere of 007 First Light. I am really excited about playing this. It's going to be a good time. Very excited for it, and that's going to be great. I do want to mention that the 14th, Saturday the 14th, which I had on the calendar, I've just deleted that now, for By the Dice Roll. I cannot do that. I have a previous commitment, so I will not be able to do By the Dice Roll on Sunday the 14th. But we've got other stuff going on, of course, all throughout the month, including more Gloomhaven and stuff like that. So yeah, I am looking forward to all of that. And the other thing I want to note too is that I have to make one adjustment to my calendar about Eastshade, because I was planning on doing that next, but change stream title and then also change calendar, because I can't play Eastshade over on GOG because they don't have it on GOG. For some reason, I have this weird mental block where I keep thinking that Eastshade must be on GOG.com, and it is not on GOG.com. It is only on Steam, so I can't do that. So I'm going to be changing that over the next couple of weeks. We will see. And then 3 weeks from now, actually 2 weeks from this Thursday, now that I think of it, or 2 weeks from tomorrow, we are going to be flying out to San Francisco. And on Saturday the 27th, Roleplay by the Bay, which is a tabletop event. Zach and I are going to be announcing the further details about that in the next couple of days. So you should mark your calendars. We are going to try to live stream it if we can. But regardless of whether we live stream it or not, it is going to be live and in person at the San Francisco Public Library. So if you are in that area, please make sure that you mark your calendars to check it out because it's going to be a good time. And yes, absolutely, I will do that, Triffid, for sure. I just have not had the chance to do it because there's been a lot of other stuff going on. But I'm going to try to do everything I can to get all the information to everybody as well. Oh, what was that date again? I didn't know you were in that area, Craigery. Yes, it is the San Francisco Bay Area. The date for that is Saturday the 27th, and it is going to be starting at 9 a.m. It's going to be a one-day event. 9 a.m. In the morning, we're going to be doing the stuff with the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation scientists. I have 2 of those scientists are now gotten. The other 2 is getting confirmed by Megan McCurdy from the wonderful communications director from Damon Runyon. And so in the morning, it'll be 9 Pacific. So 9 Pacific, which means 12 Eastern. And actually, that's a good point. I probably should put that down, shouldn't I? I should mark that on the calendar so it doesn't confuse anyone. It will be 12 p.m. Eastern, which means 9 a.m. rather, Pacific. Thank you for the note. That's right. So I've made that adjustment. So 9 a.m. Pacific, and that will be in the morning. I'll have a little bit of a conversation with the scientists talking about their research, and then we're going to do the one-shot adventure, which is going to be cool. And then we will have break for lunch, and then when we come back from lunch in the afternoon will be the teens that are part of the teen program that Zach runs D&D for. They will be in the afternoon, so we will have an audience for both of those sessions. Very excited for that, and spreading the word and letting people know about it would be very much appreciated. So yes, that is Saturday, June 27th, starting at 9 a.m. And I should have details about that, as I say, in the next couple of days. Zach and I are going to firm up the final details on that this evening. And I'll have the names of everyone involved coming up this evening as well. So that means by the end of the week, you should have those details too. So that's what we got going on. Very excited. Can't wait for more of it. But right now, I'm going to unmute myself so that folks know we are ready to go. And then I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to head over to reveal to you the crew. They are prepared. They are ready. They are totally capable of handling these totally not cultists that are actually seeking other cultists. I mean, sorry, the only cultists, not other cultists. What a silly way to put that. I only mentioned this, by the way, because as I was doing my prep for today and listening back, multiple times this group was like, so these guys are cultists too, right? So I was like, I'm just the messenger. Okay. Anyway, it is this wonderful crew back with me again for some more Dragonbane. So I will start with the person at the top of the column, and that, of course, is Crocs. Crocs, good to see you. I hope all is well. I'm glad to know that you were not actually eating a sandwich as large as your head. That's an inside green room joke for those of you who were with us earlier on. But how are you doing, Crocs? How are you feeling today? How's everything by you? And who are you playing this evening?
To be fair, the idea of such a sandwich actually sounds like kind of delicious.
It does sound pretty good. I totally agree with that. Yes.
Anyways, yeah, my name's The Crocs. Hello. I have returned for another session of Dragonbane. I am going to be playing as Toriel today, our resident elf that may or may not have some tendencies to solve problems with clubs, but that's a problem for another day, perhaps.
We'll find out, right?
Or a day for another problem.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Yeah, on my end, I think things are well. I've just been basically boiled alive yesterday because temperature and summer, it's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I'm glad today is cloudy and rainy. It's very much Appreciated.
My fun fact for all of you now, it's good to see you, Crocs. Thank you for being here. My fun fact for all of you today is, for those of you who missed this story, so in the UK, there's a reference here I'll make in just a second, but in the UK, they have, as you know, UK famously drizzly, tends to be, but there have been, because of climate change, a lot more heavier rains as of late and weather changes that have led to a lot of flooding, including in the tube, into like underground subway stations and stuff like that. And so I just read a story about this. The thing that has solved the problem in this one tube station, I think in East London, and they're now rolling it out to the rest of the country and possibly will start rolling it out to the rest of Europe, is they introduced a beaver family. I'm not joking, Norwegian beavers that literally within 2 months dammed up the flood, solved the problem. Like, I'm talking like no machines could do it. They could not get, these beavers were like, we got this. And like literally dammed up the flood, and they do not have a problem with flooding in that particular station anymore because of the reintroduction of the Norwegian beaver. I'm just letting you know that climate change, despite the fact that it led to Crocs roasting, also led to the positives in this case of having a beaver family save humans from themselves in a very small, tiny way. But it's a start.
Do they live in the underground? Are they going to mutate into like
Giant
Teenage
beavers?
Mutant Beaver? Yeah.
Apparently, this beaver can be the size of a small golden retriever, which feels like a very large beaver to me. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but that's what they said. So maybe they've already started to mutate, is what I'm saying. But anyway, hurrah for beavers. I just, you have a herd of goats that gets herded around to help with wildlife preservation. What's wrong with giant beavers? I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but like if they get giant enough and it's Jurassic beaver, then that's a whole other, that's a whole other thing. Anyway, I also mentioned it because this crew happens to be mostly filled with animals, except of course for Toriel. So just pointing it out. Animals are good things.
Elves are animals too.
Say again. Oh yeah, that's true.
Is it elves are animals
Elves
too?
are animals too. They might be horribly offended if you said that. Anyway, always a pleasure to have Crocs with us. Also a pleasure to have Tari Tunes with us, who is also playing an animal of particular terrible type, as we'll discuss. It's good to see you, Tari. How are you? How's everything in your neck of the woods? Do you have any thoughts? Maybe, given where you live, should we just release a bunch of beavers into the Dutch landscape, and would that help at all? And who are you playing today?
I think maybe Dutch people just have beaver DNA in them, so that might affect things.
I see.
Yeah. Thus a big hatred for water, anything water related.
I see.
I don't know, like if you ever get the chance to travel to the Netherlands and happen to go over the highway in Flevoland, you will just be completely brain melted from what's happening there. So like for context, like Flevoland is the one province that was made new last century.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a Flevoland before that. And like 99%, or I don't know how much, a lot of it, of that province are lower than sea level. So, but like the bridges still go over the water. So you have like parts where you like drive, then you go up, then you're above water, and then you go on the other side back down, lower from the water. It's like really, if you're not used to it, it hurts your brain.
I see. Yeah, I can imagine.
So, yeah, I'm playing a duck, which is good because those float. I've been told. Her name is Ahatea the Terrible. She is a mage, and she's terrible, very terrible. Yes.
And is not responsible for the smoldering that you see on your map, by the way, folks. Although
only for the smoldering chemistry, maybe. Oh,
I see what you did there. She is yes, but we're gonna have a chance to see whether fire will be used in other capacities by Hahatea today. We will see if that becomes needed. But always a pleasure to have Tari with us once again. Thank you, Tari. Also a pleasure to have Trent Sparks with us, who, as you can see, I believe has got his standing desk going on. I can tell that for two reasons. One, because Tren is moving back and forth in the way many people with standing desks do. Two, because the map behind him is at a different angle than I'm sometimes used to seeing. So I'm like, aha, must mean something different. Yes. But how are you doing, Tren? How's life in the universe with you? Are you at all, I've talked about this before, that the Wolf Among Us 2 has been announced. Do you have any vague interest in the game, in that game, on general principles? I'm just noting the character in your window, and I was curious.
First of all, happy Pride.
Yep.
Two, as for the Wolf Among Us as well, not the Wolf Among Us
The Wolf
2.
Among Us also, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I had a crush on Bulbasaur, whatever the hell his name is.
Bigby.
Bulbasaur?
That one. Okay, yeah.
No, not Bulbasaur.
I choose you.
Oh no.
But eventually I got over that because he was just, he's too tall, like shorter guys. I mean, never mind. Yeah, and I'm playing Chuff. What is it with me and not being able to remember my character's name?
I was going to say, this guy's pretty different than your other... It's not like I play two wolves in two campaigns that we currently,
Yeah, so Chuff, and he is a hunter, wolfkin guy. He is thoroughly convinced that any minute now, at least one of these two cult persons is going to be like Stonefire, and everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket.
Yes, the Eberron reference that has made Tren permanently afraid of at any second. But then it would only affect Toriel, right? Like suddenly Toriel's like, oh, must destroy all.
Have you seen this guy with a hammer of any type?
I'm frequently reminded. Yeah,
it worries me.
Yeah. I'm frequently reminded. Always a pleasure to have Tren with us. Thank you, Tren. And last but certainly not least, always a pleasure to have undeveloped Bruce with us as well. Yes, Bruce, I'm afraid, have a corresponding frog story to fit the Bruce to fit the.
Why would you need a frog
story or a duck story? I don't have a duck story. Although I don't have any either of those things. But I will just assume that frogs and ducks are awesome equally, regardless of that. How are you? How's everything going on in your neck of the woods? And who are you playing today?
Yeah, everything's going well here. I should probably share that I am on call at work, so if an alarm goes off, I will have to have my laptop open and, do cool software development stuff, hacky, whatever. It won't happen though. But now that I've said that, it will. Gosh darn it. And today I am playing Frogor, who, as you might have guessed from the discussion just now, he was assigned frog at birth, but he knows that he is a mallard, and it's not his fault that he was AFAB. So again, happy Pride Month. And I would also like to note that despite the fact that it is Pride Month, I do have a note in my notes for next session to no homo hug Chuff's leg, specifically no homo. So I'm very sorry to the gays.
Oh, well, that's fine though, right? Because neither of you are human, ergo no homo. Huh?
Oh yeah,
sapien?
there's no Homo sapien. That's
In fact,
what
that
it
was
meant.
that was very humanist of you, actually, and completely mangling that word.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
It is
no homos on this party.
I love that we get that after 2 happy Pride months too. That's great. Like, really well done, everyone. But it is very good to see all of these lovely folks here. I'm glad we're back to what happened. What I do? What did we do?
Not you.
Yeah.
Tari, did you mention the comic?
Oh right.
Yeah. Thanks,
right. Since comics are lost over, like finally now, the zine that I worked on, contributed to, is now available for online purchase. However, just in German, But if you are still interested, you can order that here.
Nice.
Yes.
And then
And-
you will have seen it. So
Hey.
And a trailer that I voiced for a game called Stars Reach that is going to be going into early access very
Ooh.
soon was finally released, and you can find that here.
Hey, look at all the okay. I see. This is great. Well, guess what? I don't know. No, I can't talk about anything that I have going on. Some of my planes are about to hopefully land, but I can't talk about them yet. That's great. Congratulations to both Tren and Tari. Again, I am blessed to be surrounded by constantly awesome, gifted people. So good work, everyone. Yes, go get all the things, people. And I just clicked over and can immediately, of course, it's all in German, but immediately I'm like, yep, that's Tari's artwork. It's almost like I've been watching this person do art for the last 7+ years or whatever the hell it's been. So congratulations to both of you. That's awesome. And that sets us up nicely, I think, in that warm feeling of friendship and happy pride and all that, to move into some recaps of what we did last time. Let's fire up the music here. The music must be drawn here.
Oh yeah, the music.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the sound effects on Roll20 for like 4 hours or so. And all I can hear is this horse click, 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 click. And in the background, I'm like, where is that coming from? And
then you remember that's what was going on. Yeah, poor Darksaber. When we were playing, this would have been, I guess, Storm King's Thunder. I didn't realize that for him, it like I started and restart the music on my end, but for whatever reason, there was this one like dead to my browser like music that I had on for literally well over like a year, and I didn't realize it. I couldn't hear it, and it wasn't coming out on stream because the stream hears what I hear. But for Saber on his end, he's like that music haunted my dreams, and I was like, why didn't you say anything? He's like, I don't know, I just thought that's what it was like. So anyway, I finally shut it off, and he's like, it's just a blessed silence. It's not the same riff over and over again. It's like really felt bad. Anyway, so you may be asking yourselves, everybody, what are we looking at? Why is there what looks like a dead tree and a smoldering bonfire, the remnants of a bonfire? And why do we have, in addition to our party that you can see there, why are there these two other random people? I'm glad you asked. Because in our last session, the party, which has now discovered 2 pieces of what allegedly are 4 needed pieces of this Dragon Emperor statuette, have other searches to make. They've only got 2. They need more of them, and the Misty Vale is fairly sizable, and there's a lot more to explore. And so the party, looking for possible leads, heard that there was something that might be found in the Iron Forest. And the Iron Forest was somewhat to the west of their position, but not so far that they wanted to go back to the village of Outskirt, re-equip, rest, and whatever, and then go back out. They were like, no, we're going to go to the Iron Forest, see what's there, and then we'll go back to Outskirt. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum, though, because while they were there, they were met by a very impressive-looking person dressed in full-out armor, by the name of Tylos, who called himself a Dragon Knight, and said that he worked for the Keeper, that he was a Dragon Knight that worked for somehow the Immaculate Flame, one of the Keepers of the Immaculate Flame, and that they have been looking for demon cultists who are evil and must be eradicated from the earth. Well, this party is not a big fan of demons either, and so they were like, okay, that sounds good. And even more so when the knight was like, I don't know whether you're a cultist or not, but you're going to come with me to Fort Malice. That's Malus, but you draw your own conclusions. Fort Malice, where I will make sure that everything passes muster, and most importantly, you can help me take down these terrible demon cultists. Now, the party agreed to do this for 2 reasons. Number 1, because this is an impressive-looking knight, and might have been dangerous. But Frogor in particular was huge, a bit like just sort of like, wow, look at this, type of deal. And the other three were sort of like, well, this seems like we might get a good lead here. And also, we really don't feel like getting into a fight with this, badass looking dragon knight right now. So they accompanied him to Fort Malice. What they found there, first of all, was a somewhat rundown legendary fort. The ruins of this fort, not completely to the ground ruin, but still pretty messed up. And they found two other knights there, Isidelia and Nikleon. So we have three, Tylos, Isidelia, and Nikleon, all dragon knights, who have been trying to find ruins and reclaim them in the name of Eladane, who might be familiar to some of you who watched this campaign. Be like, that name sounds familiar. Wasn't that the Dragon Emperor? Yes, it was. Eladane, the Dragon Emperor. And so the party said, okay, we'll go along with this. They went to the fort. They came in. They were introduced to the other knights. The knights said, hey, why don't you warm your hands by the fire? And while they were there, they noticed growing at the bottom of the courtyard in this fort, this old tree, which you see there. But the old tree was odd in that there were several golden apples hanging from its branches, which is one of the things that had made the knights think that there was something valuable that they could find here as well. And so the party went over. Frogor saw the golden apples and suddenly it was like, my weakness speaks to me, and jumped over the side to grab these apples. Fortunately for Frogor, having consumed the apple whole, I assume not even waiting to spit out the seeds, what they discovered was that actually it was very nourishing, and it was like almost having a full meal. It was very satisfying. Nothing magical happened, but it was, a very nice meal. In the meantime, Ahate, and that was one thing. The other thing to note is that, and I believe it might have been Chuff who discovered this first, I'm not sure, but over around the outside of this, where the tree is planted, is a marble circle. And carved into the marble circle are ancient letters. I don't remember which one of you, I think, did a languages roll. Or did someone successfully do one?
I think it was Toriel.
I think that was Toriel, who discovered that it said the golden tree will be forever in the care and possession of House Stone Oak. Such is the agreement with the tree's keeper and soul, Rotlog, bound to this place in perpetuity. So that's what the language read. Toriel read that. And also another note is that the Dragon Knights seem particularly interested in Toriel and had a lot of questions about Toriel's elf heritage. Seem to be very interested in Toriel as an elf. Not sure why yet. Maybe that's TBD. Finally, Ahatea, warming her feathers, webbed feet by the fire, found that this smoldering large bonfire had several secrets to it. Number one, it was still hot, so it was relatively recent that it was set. And two, that there was a human skull which rolled out of the fire at Ahatea's feet. And Ahatea was able to note that it was a human skull that had rolled out of it, and, perhaps most important, that it is fresh. This skull is a recently deceased skull of a human person. And so, having determined all of that...
Is a human that the skull belongs to also recently deceased, or just a skull?
One would hope so, or something weird is going on, I would say. And so with that, we now bring things back over to the party. I do want to begin with Ahatea, though, making for me a healing roll, which is going to seem a little odd, but yes.
Yes, that's a pass.
This essentially this is a medicine check. Oh, wait a second. Make sure I get that. There we go. Want to make sure I had that up there. Okay, great. I'm going to have to readjust my dice roller for Dragonbane. Okay, so that's a pass. What you note, Ahatea, as you look down at it, is that this skull is not pristine. In fact, there is a large gash running from the forehead down under the left eye socket.
Gash as in like a blade went in there.
Yes.
And cracked it open. Okay.
If you were doing some DSI, some duck scene investigation, you're pretty confident that this was the proximate cause of the unfortunate person's death.
Under the left eye, right?
Under the left eye. And so now I will hand this back over to the party. 3 of you by the tree, 1 of you by the fires, looking down at the skull. What would you folks like to do?
Oh, by the way, did we make sure? Like, are we very sure that this is a human skull and not, for example, a halfling skull?
Yes,
or
you
something?
actually. As I was reading, you actually asked me that yesterday or last time,
Okay.
and indeed,
Yesterday.
yesterday, one of these times, whatever the hell the time is. And yes, indeed, it is in fact a human, not a humanoid, but a human skull.
Human. Yeah, I'm just like assuming that it's like pretty difficult to tell human and halfling skulls apart.
Yeah, no, this looks like well, and that's the other thing. Again, wouldn't take too much to realize that this is definitely an adult, not a child's skull. So yeah,
Can't you tell by the teeth with children?
you could, but in this case,
Yeah.
just the size of it. Well, I mean, I guess it could be a very bloated child, but it seems unlikely.
Right.
What would the
You
party
can
like
also
to do?
tell by how high above the ground the skull stands.
Yes. Hence why I asked, since it's on the ground, so it looked like a halfling to me.
Right. Yep.
It's sitting on the ground, really like a gnome skull. Then wouldn't it be like like a
Ooh.
pixie skull? You know,
Oh, I thought you meant gnome skull, like numbskull with the. Yeah,
Gnome
okay,
skull.
never mind. Yeah.
my stream category has none. What? All right, I'll check it. I thought I did that. Anyway, go on.
While you're doing that,
Yes.
Chuff is going to continue doing what he was doing, which is sniffing around the bottom of a tree, because some instincts are very difficult to get over.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Did are you looking for anything in particular other than just?
A place to pee?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay. All right. You are.
If he happens to see something, fine, but he's not actively searching.
Right. You are getting looked at. Oh yeah, you're right. You are quite right. Thank you, Echo. I don't know what
You're welcome. Oh, but that-
was going on there.
Getting looked at for what?
I have fixed that. There we go. Now fixed. Thank you. So as you're looking at, as you're looking around, you notice that this, which I believe is, I believe that one was Nicleon who came over and was talking to you, not Tylos, but let me confirm. No, that is Tylos. I take that back. Tylos comes down and is had spoken to you before, and it's something to the effect of like, be careful. And was speaking to Frogor, I think. Make sure there are no ill effects from your having consumed this thing. But sort of sees you sniffing around and says, well, what exactly, Chuff, are you attempting to do over there? Be careful. That is, of course, a very important tree.
Of course it is. That's why I'm sniffing it.
Are you seeking
But then-
something?
In some ways, every tree is special. Each have their little characteristics of nuance. It's just
He nods, just looking at you impassively.
so. In the process of his sniffing around, he's also kind of. Well, he's not. What I was saying earlier is he's not actively searching for anything, but if there are scents that are significant to him, things that seem like they shouldn't be here, like the scent of something else other than just an apple tree or something, then he would pick that up pretty quick in the course of trying to figure out whether this is something that needs, to be marked.
I would like a bushcraft roll, please, from you.
Okay. Bushcraft.
Bushcraft.
Bushcraft. Hell no.
No freaking idea. Okay. Yeah, just that the tree does look, I mean, as is probably evident from this picture even on the screen, looks pretty withered, but there's something strange about the withering, for want of a better term. Like you can't put your finger on it, but there's something odd about it. It's not just, oh, this tree's completely dead. And of course it would seem odd anyway, since there was an apple hanging from it, but there's something weird about the way the tree is situated. So, but it's hard to say, this is the real issue, but something is definitely, it's an unusual tree for sure.
Is it a pear tree, but instead growing apples?
Yeah, that's right. It's the first ever banana tree in a climate like this. It's completely.
If there's
Also growing up.
anything I know from Reddit, it's probably that there's not enough oxygen getting to the roots because it's built, they've built up, they've concreted it in, they've probably mulch mountained it, not realizing that mulch mountains are actually really bad for the tree and you need to pull it away from the trunk. There's going to be all sorts of things, but Frogor doesn't know any of that, so Frogor would like to pick a second fruit and then jump down to go and give it to Ahatea, please.
Okay. So does that and heads over in a very duck-like way over to Ahatea. Ahatea, are you, having looked at this skull, are you like taking it and going, aha, and like throwing it at one of the knights in horror, or going, yes, a new skull for my staff? Or like what is Ahatea's reaction to the skull?
Were you guys having a barbecue here, or what is this about?
And she looks at you, Isidelia, and she says, no, not a barbecue. Simply a, well, it was a necessary circumstance. Some things had to be purged.
Purged? Oh, I guess the rest of this person's skeleton, huh? Considering there's just the skull is left.
She nods very slowly and seriously at you. You all seen the movie Manos Hands of Fate? It just
Oh God, we were just talking about it yesterday.
The master says, no, not quite like that.
No,
but does
remember he's a satyr, so you had to the master.
the master? That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
So,
But no, there's not quite that creepy. But does sort of like very seriously, like as you say, oh, elsewhere. Yeah.
So is this some kind of human ritual, or why are you barbecuing other humans?
I would not define it as barbecuing, and it was not a human. It was, and she draws closer, a demon.
A demon? She picks up the skull, looks it over. No, I'm pretty sure this is a human skull.
That is only its human form. Internally, it was all demon.
Does Ahatea know anything about demons that look like humans?
Myths and legends.
Yes, I was just about to say, like that's yes, exactly right. You can make a myths and legends roll for me, please.
No. God damn it.
You're like, I don't know, tomato.
Can I take 10?
It's all the same. Like, yeah. I mean, I will say you will know that demons do not all come in one shape and size, and certainly it's possible that there are illusions and things, but you don't know the details of it.
So
Sorry.
you are saying this is a demon skull? Maybe I can use this. Yeah, you don't need this anymore, right? And she already put it away into one of her many pockets.
She looks a little uncomfortable. She says, "Well, of course you may take it with you, but I would encourage you these rituals." Then she kind of gets a sort of suspicious look, and she says, "Why would you need a demon skull for a ritual?"
I did not say anything about rituals. She was talking about rituals.
But why would you need a demon skull?
Studying?
To do what?
Study demons?
Why would you study demons?
And to know things about them? And she looks at the other guys. Is this she's not saying it, but her expression says very much, is this guy stupid?
Right. By this point, I imagine Frogor has arrived on the scene, and so you can see this series of questions, which is basically asking the same thing with the same response. But why would you want to study them? She says. As Frogor
and at this point, Frogor rocks up with his jar of teeth. Just in case any of you forgot.
Are we all cultists now that I think of it? Just we're all cultists, really.
A jar of teeth that every time that he mallardly hops, it rattles about. And says, Mistress, I have brought you an apple from that tree. I had one myself. It tastes lovely. I might have had a nibble out of this one too, but I had to test it for poisons.
Well, rather you than the rats, I suppose. Thank you very much, Frogor. And she rubs it on her robe and eats it in the most movie douchebag villain way. that they always eat apples, right?
Answering questions with a mouthful of apple. I don't know. Right.
Yeah, and she like then turns back to the knight. And is like, well, you see, I am of the scholarly persuasion. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I study things. Anthropology and demonology and frogology and elfology, and she rattles down more ologies. You know, more knowledge is always more better.
And she says, knowledge to destroy the evil, yes? To purge it, to burn it with cleansing fire?
I'm not sure I can do cleansing fire. I'd rather not run into a living one, to be honest. They don't sound like the most, how would I put it, type of folks you would hop over for tea.
No. Instead, they would corrupt your tea and make it into... She looks off to the side. Somewhere in the distance, a lightning bolt illuminates her face. Corrupted tea.
Corrupted tea. She like writes down notes.
It's like Starbucks chai, you know what I mean? It's really... But she slowly looks back and she says, well, if it is true that you are able to help us here, then perhaps you will be worthy to do this research that you speak of, Ahatea. I have been told by Tylos that you all seem to be rather brave and willing to fight cultists, and if you are willing to do so and join our sacred cause, then perhaps you will be worthy to do this research. I suppose research in the pursuit of extremism is no problem, and extremism in the defense of cultist hunting is no vice. One of my order, his name was Baracus Goldwatercus, made that same comment.
Ericus, what's it?
That's a political joke that almost no one will understand, but you know,
Oh.
it's all right. Someone watching this later on is going to be like, "Yeah, let's go. He made the reference."
Right. Out of character, why were we here again? Like, we ran into
We
this
followed
one
this
night
guy.
and he was like, we need to get like checked or whatever, right?
We were going to see a creepy tree on the map and ran into this dude.
Right.
And he insisted on checking if we're the evil kind of cultists.
Mm-hmm.
And did they by now disclose what exactly they want our help with besides like reading some elven stuff?
They have not,
They have not. Okay.
but you did just get here, so
Yeah. Well. Need to write human skull in my inventory.
So Toriel would like to take the opportunity, and after having seen the runes around the tree, like in the, I think the stone circle around it, you said? I think?
yes, that's right.
He would very much like to go close to the tree and check if there's any markings on it as well, like
Only
engraved
one from Chef.
Yeah, there is a very clear mark, which is not sort of the scratch, if you know what I mean. But I would like you to make a bushcraft roll for me, please, Toriel. Nope. It was there for a minute. For a minute, I was like, oh, just on the edge. Yeah, no, other than to say that the tree definitely, as I mentioned with Chuff, there's something odd about it. It is withered, but there's something strange about the sort of, just the way that the tree appears, that it should look more one way or another, dead or alive, and it looks kind of like neither, and you don't understand that, but can't put your finger on why. And as you're waiting there, you hear the door open to the west. And coming out of here, you see a knight emerge. Now, I don't, and you can tell he's a knight because he's dressed that way, but he is not Tylos. I don't think you met this one before, but if you did, then you're going to meet him again. But I don't think you met him before. As he comes out, and he is sort of brushing off some dirt or something from his body, from his gleaming armor. And as he walks out towards you, he sort of stops short when he sees all of you. And Isidelia says, Nikleon, please. And so Nikleon comes over to the fire. Very impressive looking fellow, a little bit like Tylos. Neither one of these look to be... Tylos looks a little bit older than either of these, but they all are dressed in the same kind of armor. And Isidelia says, Tylos has brought us some new allies in the battle against the demons. Let me introduce you to Ahatea, the terrible, and she kind of sort of pauses on the word, Frogor, and indicates Frogor. And then over by the tree, that wolfkin you see there, his name is, I think he pronounced it, and Nikleon says, was that and she's like, no. And it sounds, Chuff, like they're saying like chaff, chai, chofi, Deepak Chopra, something.
It's like Chiwetel Ejiofor. He just used to people mispronouncing his name.
He's just like, I just get it. And then last, Toriel, and she says, and Toriel, and then she turns to Nikleon and she says, Toriel is an elf. And Nikleon was kind of looking at all of you, and then, an elf, you say? Really? And she says, yes. And they kind of nod at each other meaningfully. And Nikleon sort of, spends another second looking after Toriel and then says, in any case, it is our honor to welcome you to Fort Malice, a place that we are attempting to purge of its evil. If Tylos brought you, then presumably it's because you may have some worth, assuming none of you are engaging in acts of evil. Are you? It's just a necessary formality. Is there any evil going on here? And he looks around like he's just asked you, do you have anything to declare at like customs or something? Like, any of you have any evil that you've been doing lately? Any of you?
Oh, duty free.
Frogor's just like rocking back and forth, shaking his jar of human teeth.
Are those teeth?
Yes, I found them. Well, I pulled them out of some. Well, you see, there was underground, and then it was a whole thing. Curse, you know how it is.
You've been cursed and came from underground with a bunch of teeth?
No, we've
I
not
don't
been
know.
cursed.
The curse wasn't real. Someone thought there was going to be a curse, but there's never a curse. Curses aren't real, and my teeth prove it.
And Nikleon says, this time turning, so remember, Estelia looked off to the right. Skelia looked to the right. He looks to the left this time, and he's like, oh, curses are quite real. Lightning illuminates his face. And
there's a lot around here.
He turns back to you, and he says, but those teeth, you took them from the undeserving and the unworthy, I hope.
They were certainly less worthy than Ahatea, my mistress, who's far more worthy of many teeth. But she's allowing me to keep these ones, aren't you, mistress?
Yes, I have no need for teeth. You see, I have a beak. A bill. A bill, right? It's a bill.
I too have a bill. He sort of tilts so you can see the bill on his hat. But I still require teeth.
Nikleon sort of nods several times as if not sure what's going on here, and then says, I wonder if you might bring the other two, I think you called him Chowder, over there, and also to the elf. If both of those could come here, I would like to introduce myself to them. I could walk there, but perhaps it's best that all of us gather together around this fire of righteousness.
Yes, I think it would be nice if they came over here, wouldn't it?
Would you mind calling them, please?
Frogor looks to Ahatea the Terrible, his mistress.
He's just trying to get you to pronounce Chuff's name so you can get a sense of how it's supposed to be said.
You guys, come over here.
Okay, so you hear that, Toriel and Chuff.
And Chuff, being Chuff, and the way he deals with Ahatea, just sort of glances and then goes back to what he's doing, because he's like, lady, I don't work for you, kind of thing. He's like, I am not at your beck and call. But, just a simple look that communicates that beautifully. But he's focused more on this person closest to them over here.
Tylos, yes.
Thank you. Yes, Tallow.
If Chuff's ignoring Ahatea, then Frogor's definitely gonna jump over there and try to convince them to come over.
Okay.
There's a new knight by the fire. His name's Nicky, and he said something. I've forgotten what it was, but it sounded important. If you're interested. Which is why the mistress was calling you over, but then you must not have heard her.
Oh, I heard her.
How strange. Frogor would like to no homo hug Chuff's leg.
Oh, there it is. We were waiting for that.
No homo slowly start pulling him towards the fire. While talking about how important this new...
Also sounds like no resisto is what that sounds like to me.
If you've ever been, in a crowded restaurant during a massive birthday party for a child, and there's lots and lots of kids around, to the point that they kind of get confused as to who's with their party and who's not, and some strange child comes over and hugs your leg, and you're like, what the hell whose is this? Kind of thing. I mean, Chuff knows whose this is, but he's just like, and so he kind of goes with it in the hopes of kind of looking at all the other adults, not these three people, but the other two in his party, and be like, is this yours? You want to take this with you, please?
And Tylos, just impassively here, is just kind of like looking down, looking back up at you, looking down.
It's another knight. There's two knights, and then there's this other one. And there was a skull in the fire, a human skull, humanoid. They say it's a demon. I thought it looked like a halfling skull, to be honest, because it was so small. It was close to the ground, like a halfling. But Mistress did say it was a human skull, and Mistress is probably correct. But the other person said it was a demon skull, which, if you're asking me, and he's like slowly pulling over to the fire, if you're asking me, but to believe, between my mistress and some random, person, then obviously I would believe Mistress. So it must have been a human skull, but she has it in her cloak now.
So you're saying that your belief in knights is limited?
She's not a knight. Is she?
I
don't want to be sexist.
They
you didn't
all are
say
knights. No, they're all wearing the same
damn.
armor. They're all wearing the same armor. They're all knights.
Okay. Well, I'm sexist.
It's a big suit of armor if they're all wearing one.
It's a tripartite. It's terrifying. It's like an armor
three
king.
knights or
it's a
kobolds, like three.
Sometimes in the sewers of the fantasy world, these knights, there's so many, they grow together. No, it's not a night king.
Frogor has just been thrown a bit of a wrench, and he's just going to freeze in place.
Which means, wait, does that mean that Chuff also is frozen in place? Because
Chuff might need to carry Frogor to the fire.
It's possible, but Chuff has now reached the point where he wanted to stop anyway, so he's waiting for Tallow here to. And then Tallow walks away all of a sudden.
Right. I'll move him up out there.
Basically, the point where
Tylos.
Thank you, whatever. Is facing away from him. Mm-hmm. Chuff is going to kind of just, as subtly as he can, lean in and kind of just start sniffing around, committing his scent to memory, because canines do that sort of thing.
How evident would he be pretty much like, you know what I mean, like very loudly sniffing up and down,
like right in his crotch? No,
Yeah.
it's just not that evident of it, but like right around the back of the
Let's move him there.
not the barding, but the collar of the thing, and like across the back of the shoulders, so he can get near like the armpits. Basically, any of the areas where the scent would be strongest on a person that is above the waist.
Something very important about this, actually, Chuff, that you would get from that smell. There is a very clear sulfurous, burnt smell as of fire that you smell here, or ash, which doesn't mean that that this is a creature of ash, but it means that it has been near or part of a large fire recently.
Okay.
And Tylo sort of like looks down and says, "Is there a problem, friend Chuff?"
See, you did say it right.
Well, and he sort of glances and he says, "I did believe that I had heard the name properly, but I wasn't entirely sure. It is very important for us to get our names right. Sometimes people refer. Now I am Tylos, and I've heard people refer to us as Tylenol and tallow scent, and I just so." And he just nods very seriously.
And to answer your question, whereas most other humanoids tend to remember people by name, we wolfkin tend to remember scents more strongly.
I see. Would you be able to determine, for example, the scent of a demon?
It's possible. I'd have to know what one smells like first.
Oh,
and do they all smell the same?
And he say again. And you, they're what?
And do they all smell the same?
They do not, except for the scent. This time he looks up, of evil. Lightning seems.
And
to
we
land
both have to dodge to get out of the way of the lightning
yeah,
bolt. Is
no, just nearby enough to illuminate him. He looks back down and he says, "Why exactly, Frogor, are you wrapped around the leg of Chuff?"
I was bringing him over to the fire to talk with your other friends who are both knights and whose names I remember correctly. And then I had a thought, and so I stopped.
I see. Well, yes, we should meet then around the fire. I will.
It's not uncommon, you see, for someone to be mid-sentence and then stare off into the distance when they make the end of a sentence and they seem to be lost in thought while lightning strikes off in that.
And Tylos looks at you and says, "I don't know what you mean."
Mm-hmm.
Completely deadpan. And then walks off to the fire to join his two companions here, the other knights. If you all then sort of make your way
Chuff
over-
kind of reaches down and pats Frogor reassuringly, like, "I got you. Don't worry about it. Fuck these guys." But he just kind of pats him on the shoulder and, "All right, let's go."
Success.
Toriel, are you heading over from the tree?
Yes, I will join the two. Basically, passing Chuff, and on the way, basically just patting him, or giving him a shoulder pat, and be like, I sort of understand what you're going through right now.
I see. So, so when you arrive at the bonfire, the smoldering, what's left of the bonfire, the three
Wiki bonfire. Anyway,
that's
sorry.
right. The three knights look at you, look at each other, and then look at you, and they say, Tylo says, "So, as you have now learned, these are my companions, Isidelia and Nikleon. We are keepers of the Immaculate Flame, and it is our job, as we have told you, as I told you previously, to defeat the evil cultists in this land. We believed that we had a lead here, but when we came to this place, we found, well, at least only this allegedly magical tree with these apples." And then he gestures over towards it, where there are, and then he sees that they're both gone, and he's like, where there were apples, has someone taken them? And he looks around, and then, "I remember that you ate one," he says to Frogor. "What happened to the second one?"
Punch.
Ah. And there's sort of a long, uncomfortable silence. And then he says, well, no matter. As you will have discovered for yourself, these apples are not magical. In fact, they are quite fatal to Mallard. No, he doesn't say that. He doesn't say that. He says, but they are quite, although nourishing, not magical. Yet there is something strange about the tree. And our information had to be accurate. We found it by being righteous in our purging of a creature of evil. And he nods, and the other two solemnly nod as well. And he says, we went below the place of this keep, and we discovered in the cellar that there is a locked door with language that we cannot read, except that it is very clear the language, and then all three slowly turn in your direction, Toriel, is Elvish. And Nicleon says, Elvish. And Iskelia says, Elvish. And then all three left, up, right, and then lightning in the distance. And then they turn back. And they
Toriel basically just answered the question back. What makes you so sure?
That it's Elvish? Well, we have had some dealings with elves on occasion. We don't know for certain what the language is, but it certainly seemed similar to Elvish. We also had been told by one that we asked to translate it that this was almost certainly an Elvish dialect. And so, Tylo says, I went forth to find someone who could help us to defeat the cultists of this land, but also to find a translator. And here we find, and they all smile widely, a translator. And Niclea says, to help us in our battle against evil. And Nicleon says, evil. And they all nod at you.
Have you ever considered just getting a dictionary or something?
Sadly, none exists of this language. It is of an ancient dialect. Only the elves have the memory for this. And the elves, of course, know for much and many years, since they are essentially immortal.
Well, you're essentially immortal. She turns to Toriel.
It's the usual exaggerations, I think.
Does that just count for aging, or are you also like impervious to outside damage?
He maybe flinches when you say that. It's basically just tells you, do not even think about poking me.
She lowers her stuff. Well.
Good job.
So you say you had someone before that you had asked to translate it.
Yes, they were unfortunately incapable of doing so.
Where are they?
And there's sort of an uncomfortable pause, and then their vision slowly drifts down to the skull that is at the feet. Or, well, I guess it's now to the pocket of the cloak, yeah. So it drifts over to Ahatea. And then
Ahatea reaches in her cloak. Oh, this guy!
Tylo says, yes. He was not capable of translating it, and we should have expected nothing less from a servant of evil like this demon.
Oh, I see. So what you're saying is somebody who studies demons, like this Malad lady here, is acceptable to you so long as she is working on your side, but as soon as she's no longer useful, you're going to burn them?
Well,
I prefer not to be burned, thank you.
We would
and
not...
you say, well, that does not bode well.
Nicleon says, we would not burn anything that was not an evil creature. Even those who do not share our particular faith are free to do as they wish, so long as they serve the cause of good and not of evil. We do not simply use and discard them unless you're a demon. Are you a demon?
You lost the argument at the word unless.
Well,
And now you fall back
Yeah,
on,
exactly.
well.
Also, how do you find out if anybody is evil or not? Do you ask them to kick a puppy, or what's the test?
Hey.
There have been many, and Isidelia, Isidelia says, there have been many methods that were perfected throughout the years. At the beginning, our order had a very simple way of doing it, and it was simply to attempt to drown the person. If they did not drown, then they were clearly evil and demons, and thus must be dealt with accordingly. If they did drown, then we knew they were not demons. And she nods. The other
So
two
you
sort of nods.
killed an innocent person. You know what we call that? Evil.
And she sort of, but we do not do evil.
Ahatea like leans up to Chaff to like try and whisper in his ear, like, I think these people are a bit stupid.
Is that a stage whisper type of thing? Like,
Yeah.
okay. So they're like,
It's a good thing Frogor didn't say it because of his single volume level.
right, exactly. So they're sort of like, did you say, Tyler says, did you say something about stupid?
Well, it's pretty stupid if for somebody to then try to not drown, isn't it?
Well, but of course that was an older method. Now we have much more advanced methods. It involves seeing whether, under careful interrogation, they give the information that is necessary. If they do, then we know that they may be one of the good. For example, all four of you so far have more or less, and they kind of falter as they see Frogor holding the jar of teeth as still sort of clutching around it. So they're like, they sort of have mostly passed the test of not being evil, at least so far. And that is all what any of us can do. These cultists are terrible creatures, could kill in innocence and do all sorts of terrible things.
Like you used to.
We did not kill innocents.
You, not you.
And
Although
they blink at you.
Ahatea who's still holding the skull of the dead guy. She like now wears it like a hand puppet.
oh no.
Okay.
And goes like this. So, and how did you test me exactly?
And there's sort of a uncomfortable pause. Like, we had found them engaged in demonic rituals, and in the woods. And when we demanded for them to explain themselves, they could make no good account of themselves. There were unquestionably demonic aspects to all of them. When we brought them then, we thought they could be of some use by translating the language before we pronounced final sentence on them. And when they got there, they absolutely refused to do it. They said they would absolutely not reveal this language that had great value, they said, to their cause. They even called it a cause. Can you imagine calling something a cause? And they also like, cause, I can't. A cause. The only true cause is the defeat of the evil cultists. Well, we knew
and
immediately.
The cause of death of this guy. Was it an X or what was it?
And Tylo says, it was a sword blade, and it was a swift, humane kill. Certainly not what they would have given us if the situation had been reversed.
To the face? Wouldn't it have been much more humane to strike them at the neck or something?
Not these creatures. They must be killed through the head. If you simply attack their body, their heads can detach on their own, regrow new demonic bodies. It is a terrible process. I have seen it happen several times. It is not something I would wish upon my worst enemy, except possibly demons, lightning.
Has Ahatea ever heard something like that, of like demon heads regrowing bodies?
Let's get a Myths and Legends roll from Ahatea and see if you have.
It's gonna be like
nope.
It's gonna be like John Carpenter's The Thing, or the head grows all the legs and goes skittering on.
Yeah, exactly. Or the skull starts floating and suddenly you make an awesome computer game out of it and you call them Mort. You have not. I mean, let me say this for sure. You know, Ahatea, that the whole thing about dragons and demons is that clearly they both existed and exist in some form. Also, clearly, the rumors are rampant about what they look like and why. If you have a problem with someone, you're like, that guy's a demon over there. You know what I mean? Like, it's this
Standard witchcraft shit.
It's so, yeah, it's like a bunch of like, you know, crystal healing in a dream. Like, it's a bunch of nonsense, honestly. And like, so when you hear them talking about it, is it possible that the way to kill them is to get, maybe, but the actual finding of a real demon and not, that guy's a demon because I don't like him because he said something mean to my kid on the playground last week. That's the part that's hard to deal with. So you're not
playgrounds
sure.
Playgrounds are just awful places.
Filled with demons. There are definitely legends about the many ways that demons can survive attack. Whether getting your head cut off is one, you don't know.
Okay, bye.
Nice. Outstanding.
Nice.
Difficult
What
to do the
time of
puppeting.
day is it? Sorry.
I believe we said that it was early evening because I think it took that long to actually get to the fort. So early evening, there's, you know, rapidly darkening, although of course there's light because of the fire and so on. They also have lanterns at their belts.
So we might as well stay here overnight. Frogor would. Is the fire still like, you know, warm to the, you know, is there embers
Yes.
and it's got some heat?
Yes, there are.
Cool. Frogor's gonna get the kettle on for Ahatea's evening tea.
Okay. And
Don't make it corrupted.
corrupted tea. That's right. Turn it into something terrible. Like peach pomegranate or something.
That's when you put in coffee creamer instead of actual milk.
Oh, yeah,
Then it's corrupted.
The worst. Yeah. So as you're sort of getting the tea ready and everything, Tylo says, yes, rest will be important. In the morning, we will bring you to this door which cannot be read. And then, Toriel, and he sort of bows respectfully to you, hopefully the language of your people will be made clear. With your help, we will open the door to evil and bring through a portal of righteousness our son into the darkness. And they all sort of they all nod at you solemnly.
Your son's trapped on the other side of the door? Why didn't you lead with that?
They blink at you, and one of them points feebly up at the sun.
Oh, son, not son. Okay.
And so
So you're the mother?
having Tylos continues to. They're a mixture of. I like to think that Chuff has spent much of this campaign in a permanently bemused state, right? Not totally know what's going on with these people. There's sort of a combination of bemusement and also like full out dedication to the cause, at least from what you can tell. Although you haven't had a chance to speak to them for that long individually, but these people seem very committed to their belief structure. And so as you're sort of gathering the tea, Nick Leon heads off back to the room that he came from. Tylos says, I shall return in the morning. Nothing will disturb you here. The keepers of the Immaculate Flame will stand watch, and you may be assured that nothing evil will touch you. In the morning, it will be your job to return the favor, and then our responsibility to destroy evil wherever it lies. And he sort of nods at you and says, do you require bedrolls? We have several of those. Or perhaps pallets of straw. Do you require a, and he looks uncomfortably at you, Chuff, a place to curl up? He sort of falters.
So you're leaving?
Only to do the patrol outside the wall.
So that's a yes.
I suppose.
Okay. And what's his name there just left?
Nick Leon is attending to the inner keep.
So that's a yes.
Yes, but Isidelia will be with you here at the fire.
But you said keepers, plural. Who else is there?
Well, there's there are many of us, actually, but the only ones at the fort are the three of us.
So the keepers
Yes.
who are going to be watching over us,
Are the three of us.
but you two are leaving.
But we are right
Thus leaving
outside.
them.
Well, no, Isadelia will watch you, and then we will be watching over you by guarding your presence, you see, by doing a patrol, making sure that nothing evil approaches. It is possible that if you have indeed come into contact with these cultists, that you have already attracted their attention. They may be hunting you even now. Every hawk, every stone could conceal an ant that serves the evil. They could be watching you. There could be a flea upon your skin. That flea could be a servant of the demons. A demon flea.
Do not have fleas.
The demons have strange ways.
And I don't have fleas.
Well, then your righteousness will protect you.
Thank you.
And
You
he,
may go.
He bows, and he turns and heads off to his patrol.
Is like Hatia like towards Chaff says then. So is he implying that having fleas is a sign of being a demon?
I don't
Demons
know.
generally have fleas, and she writes down more notes in her in her book.
And what's her name is standing right there, right?
Yes, in fact, has her sword out in the classic, hands on the... Tylos did this too. Hands on the pommel with the blade down into the ground type of thing, you know what I mean?
That is not good for the blade. Don't do that.
But it looks cool.
Isadelia,
Yeah, look.
Isadelia says, but you see, I appreciate you attempting to keep my sword protected, but you see, this sword has been blessed by the sun itself. And she brings forth her sword, and even though it is dusk, very, getting dark, it does gleam just from the little bit of firelight, and you can see sort of like it looks completely pristine, both sides of the blade, Chuff.
So is that your son who's stuck behind that door?
She again points weakly up at that sun.
And it is now evening, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the sun is not up there. What the hell are you pointing at?
Well, there was a sun every day.
There was? Yeah, and you guys used to kill innocents.
And Isdelia's, we did not kill innocents.
You just said, hours ago, that you used to, drown people to determine whether they were innocent or not.
Well, if they were innocent, then we wouldn't have bothered to try to drown them.
So you drowned innocent people.
She kind of looks, that's not the way logic works.
Correct. That is what he's trying to explain to me.
She looks completely like gobsmacked. She's like, what? They were demons. We accused them of demonhood, and it was proven that they were demons. They never said different.
So if they drowned, they were not demons, correct?
Correct.
How many drowned?
Well, records are sparse, but probably several hundred.
So you killed several hundred innocent people.
They could have proven themselves before we drowned them. And it wasn't us anyway, it was our ancestors.
I would like to just say now, before any such tests, because oh no, I accidentally raised my hand and
Oh no! What has this done to the windows?
I would just like to say, before any tests are conducted, that I am not a demon, and neither are any of my friends. There we are. No need to drown any of us, because we are not demons.
And
also, the test wouldn't work on me because, you see, I'm a duck. I float.
I am a duck.
Difficult.
And
yes,
I float
correct.
also.
And Isadelia.
I don't know about the other two. I don't know if they are ducks or if they're
I'm not a duck.
Oh.
Isadelia says,
wolves float?
Are you suggesting if he's not a duck, that means that he is a demon?
What?
Are
those the only two things that exist in your worldview?
Of course not. There are also elves
There's also rabbits.
This one who will be able to help us open the portal to the darkness that lies beyond. So we may
where
bring
their
light
son
to it.
is being held captive.
Why are you keeping your son captive?
Again, weak
Did
point.
he not do his homework or,
Weak
Wait.
point
or
to the
not tidy up
sky.
his room? Or...
If this is sorry, so you want us to help you? Okay, what am I trying to say here? Demons, bad. Evil, bad. Ooh, darkness,
She
bad.
nods furiously. Yes, you've got it.
Door, behind door, evil, demon, bad.
Well, we think there's an evil
Your
demon,
son is
but
a
there's
demon?
we think there's something that's evil there. And she again keeps. She now is not even bothered. She just occasionally like jerks her finger up at the sky just to like. now
Hopefully she goes just high enough that she becomes the lightning rod.
And at the moment, the door is shut. Evil, bad, other side of the door. But you would like to open the door.
No.
And
That's
Chuff turns and does a little golf clap and smiles. He's like, yeah.
no. That's not no. The truth is that there is a corruption that is spreading. You can see it even, and then she points, look at the tree. Why, the tree itself is corrupted. You cannot simply close it out or lock it in. Evil must be purged, not simply locked away. And besides that, there's no guarantee that there's an evil past there. All we know is that this is some mad that is spoken of in our legends. There may be treasures that allow us to fight the evil more effectively. But either way, corruption must be rooted out. One cannot simply put a Band-Aid on a wound, or a bandage. That would be the actual term because they wouldn't know Band-Aid. Bandage on a wound. One must actually treat the source of the infection. That is what we are doing. We are removing the infection of evil.
But
Yeah,
if the
this
wound
makes
is
sense
already
to me.
infected, then you already did something horribly wrong in the first place. Have you ever treated any wound in your life?
Of course.
Then,
And we begin by treating the infection.
but you only get an infection if the wound is first of all mistreated. A wound isn't automatically infected.
That's true. It must first be corrupted by a demon.
Why would one want to do that?
You'd have to ask the demons.
So
I want to point out
to
that during this entire
summarize-
time, no movement of the arms at all, just like straight, you'd have to ask the demon. Like, just-
well, she did point up several times.
that's true. I take it back. Yes, occasionally she does do this, but otherwise. Yes.
So to summarize, the bandages are not sufficient in treating demons. Is that what we are trying to say here?
That is correct. You, and specifically, she says with a smile at Toriel, you are the cleansing fire that will purge the infection.
That's the
We should
first.
have a doctor look at that.
Usually we use a sort of a mixture
Poultice.
of a poultice of herbs before we try fire.
And she nods. She says, I agree there. We begin with the poultice of righteousness, and we end with the fire of cleansing.
Maggots are also an option.
That's true.
I don't have any personal... I don't do that.
You know, your
usually.
maggots of cleansing.
That there are no
righteous
real
cleansing
maggots.
of
There's no righteous
holy
maggots.
fire.
No, that's not... We don't.
Smiting.
So Tori would like to hook in there. It's like talking about cleansing. Your friend Tylos just mentioned you picked up multiple people and tried to have them translate the door writings.
One in particular, who seemed the most promising, yes.
Where's the rest of them?
Well, they're...
Well, see?
I'm just asking because we have run into some people a few days ago in the marshes.
Oh, do
Who
they
who
do they have
seemed a little
translating
lost.
knowledge? Are they demons?
No,
were
they
very
just
rude.
stopped by our camp.
Oh,
They left in the middle of the night after asking to camp with us. It was very odd.
well, we have had one that was a demon and was dealt with accordingly. You see that there. But there was one other that we are still perhaps interrogating. In fact, someone that would be considered to be perhaps one of your, and again bows respectfully to you, Toriel, one of your people. However, she has been resistant. Tylos believes that she is quite probably a demon, but not certainly. And so, rather than eliminate everything, it is important, of course, that we make the right decisions. And she looks at you meaningfully, Chuff. Not that we just kill innocents or something. We have decided to spend a little more time in the interrogation. You, on the other hand, Toriel, seem quite well suited for exactly this. You all seem to understand what we face and how it must be destroyed directly, not by negotiating with it or by hearing excuses about I'm not a demon or why are you taking me or things like that, but to understand the true meaning of the words, demons are evil and we must find the Dragon Emperor's place.
You purge its corruption with a cleansing fire.
That is the hope, yes.
Or maggots.
And
No,
Chuff
we don't use maggots. Never.
Chuff tightens his leather glove and grabs a piece of wood out of the fire and starts for the apple tree.
And
I'll take care of it.
And she says, we have already tried. It cannot be
Have
burned.
you tried drowning the apple tree?
And she sort of says, that's a good thought. Perhaps if we were to gather enough water. She says, I have not
It's
tried
not
that
a
yet.
joke.
I will talk to them. Oh. And she looks back. We are not permitted a sense of humor.
Oh,
I
that explains much.
It is purged from us. But she says,
maggots.
Chuff, we attempted to burn that tree down as soon as it was clear the apples that it produced were not magical. But no fire will bite at the bark of this thing. In fact, when the fire was lit at the bottom, instead of the cleansing fire doing its work, it was snuffed out as if we were attempting to put fire to sand. And, well, it was odd, but the tree seemed to rustle a bit. I can't imagine why.
thought if you put fire to sand, you would get glass.
Well, it would have to be
Did
enough
the
fire.
tree turn to glass? It doesn't look like glass. It looks
No,
like wood to
but
me.
most of the time sand would eliminate a flame, at least in my experience. But a tree should have gone up, and yet it did not do so.
Did it rain that day?
You were
I
here?
don't think wet
You
trees.
saw us when we tried?
No, I'm asking.
I knew it. You have been looking at us from a distance?
My eyes are not that good, thank you.
Oh, all right.
But no, I mean, if the tree was moist, then I don't think it would catch fire that easily.
No, we did this after we have been here for about 10 days. This was after 3 to 4 days of no rain whatsoever. The outside of the tree's bark looked dry and brittle. It should have gone up like kindling. Instead, it simply was smothered. We knew then that the corruption ran deeper than even the roots of this tree. It is below the ground here, and she looks at the ground. It is below this
Lightning
peak.
comes up out of the earth.
Yeah, exactly. No. It is below this fort. Right down here somewhere is where the evil lies. And now, she says, thanks to you, and looks again at you, Toriel, it will be purged. And this place will be safe again.
So Toriel slowly nods before turning around and trying to have a look at what is on the west side here. Like
Okay.
between the two buildings, apparently. Or maybe this is a stable. I don't know what the bottom part is.
I will be happy to show you. Are the other three of you continuing to talk to Isadelia, or are you following along? You can just tell me whatever you want to do. I'm just curious about what the rest of your intentions are.
Hatia continues to troll her, probably together with.
Okay.
Once the tea has been made, Throgor wants to go and reinvestigate the tree, looking for more apples and perhaps to give its trunk a no homo hug.
Okay. So down here, Toriel, you can see what looks like probably, and by down here I mean here. You can see what looks like it might be, maybe it was a storage shed of some kind. There's just darkness and silence that you can see from the shed, and the doorless entrance gapes like almost a monster's maw waiting for delicious visitors. You know, that's all. Something very normal. But that's what this looks like. There is a closed door over here, and an ajar door, by which I mean a door that is slightly open / ajar, over here. Also, there is a little passageway that goes to the left over here, and you're not sure where that leads because it bends out of sight.
Do I hear any noises coming from the room that Nicleon went into earlier? The one with the open door.
Well, if you make your way up there, you can do that if you wish.
I sure do.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second here. All right. This is a larger, in quotes, shed. At least you think it's a larger shed. And I'm just going to open up a little bit around it. I did all that. Okay, great. And I would say you can probably see that much too. Okay. The door here is wide open and there is a light that is spilling out onto the grass. But it looks just like the building next to it with its mossy stone facade and broken roof. And so far that's just what you noticed, but you haven't looked through the door yet.
Toriel's curious as to what's on the other side, so I think he's going to take a peek if no one's going to stop him.
Okay. So when you look inside here, are you trying to avoid being seen from the inside? Like, are you just kind of like dramatically standing at the doorway, you know, as like your silhouette is against the bonfire?
No, I'm not being lit up from behind by lightning, standing in the doorway. No,
Okay.
This is not the kind of entrance I want to make. No, Toriel just casually, basically takes a glance in. It's like,
Okay. When you look inside here, you can see that there is a what looks like a knapsack, like a backpack, basically on the ground, and next to that are a pair of open iron shackles, just lying on the ground. Other than that, the inside of this basically just looks kind of grassy. The half of the roof is kind of, you know, caved in a little bit.
oh, but there's no trace of the other guy that went in
No,
there before.
there is not. Are you looking for anything in particular, Toriel? Isidelia calls from the fire.
No, just taking a look around.
Very well. Be careful, though. Some of the areas here are more evil than others.
Which one should I be careful of?
Well, you'll definitely want to avoid the one directly to the south of where you are. Nothing but evil that way. And then, of course, the place itself that you're going to be looking at tomorrow is in here. And she points to, let me do it so chat can see it, over there.
So she
Basically,
moved
the
her
large
arms
building.
again.
That's true. But she always keeps one hand on the blade. There's always like one on the hilt. If you were to ever get her to be like the sun joke and she raises both, like the sword would probably fall. So anyway, she lifts back behind her and she's pointing at the big building, which looks like it might have been a keep at some point behind her. So she says that, of course, is where we suspect the corruption most lives. But you'll definitely want to avoid the place directly to your south as well.
I see. Thanks for the warning.
You are welcome. And she returns to her position. Tell me where you're going to go next, Toriel, and then I'm going to jump down to the tree.
I would like to go to the left of the keep. So basically through here.
Okay.
Are those arrow slits or windows?
They are arrow slits, or at least they look
Okay.
like them. Yes.
Okay.
Let me go up there. And let's go. I think you could probably see this much. Probably here. I will tell you, as you're walking around the outside of it, is that most of this keep, as you're walking around it, Toriel, most of this keep now looks to be essentially just one floor. It's hard to say how high it once was, but right now the ground floor is pretty much all that remains of it. And there is light seeping out through these tall, narrow openings, which again look sort of like arrow slits. Maybe it might be a little larger than that, actually, Chuff, if you were to go around and look at them. But they definitely don't just look like normal windows. Like maybe they were a place where lances could be poked out from or something, but definitely not normal windows. Partly covered also by creeping vines that are sort of down the side of this thing. And in front, the door that you didn't go towards, but that was there, is a bronze door, which is closed. And as you are walking on the outside, inside, coming from the inside, you hear. And then, oh, you got you over there, you. That's right. There is the sound of, a little bit faint, but definitely audible. Something is a pickaxe or something banging against metal or stone, and then every so often a rough voice sort of calling out and giving orders.
And that's coming from inside the keep.
Yes.
Okay.
And as I say, not very loud. Okay, as Toriel is making his way, I want to jump down to the tree. Where we find Chuff and Frogor. What are the two of you at the moment doing?
Frogor came over earlier and nicked some apples, but I believe he's actually the one remaining character who hasn't attempted to investigate the actual nature of the tree.
Okay. Let's see a bushcraft check.
Yes.
I'm actually going to give you also a boon on this, Frogor, because you have consumed an apple. So
he has consumed an apple. And yeah, he's going to investigate by releasing Chickgore to
yes.
peck around the base of the
legend.
tree to see. So yeah.
Yep, the legend known as Chickgore.
Intelligence-based roll by a duck, frog, and a chicken. Ooh, hang on. Oh, I need to do. Nope, never mind. That wasn't any better. Go, Chickgore! Find the secret of the tree.
Chickgore, at one point, Chickgore is going along and then starts to peck repeatedly at the ground near one spot. It's just like peck, 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 and you're like, aha, and seems very excited. And then when you go over, you can see is poking at a root, which you think Chickgore might have thought was a worm or something.
Classic Chickgore. All right, well, we're all very tired after this long day. Good job, Chickgore. Frogor would like to climb the tree and look for any more potential apples.
Okay. The climbing the tree is not too difficult, but there are no more apples remaining. There were only a couple to begin with. You do not see any apples on here. Are you planning to stay up here or come back down? He said archly.
It's quite comfy up here. Frogor will hang about.
Just sort of settle down? Okay.
Yeah.
Chuff, what about you as Frogor is doing this?
Chubb is mostly watching Frogor. He's standing there with the stick that he had picked up that was aflame, but is now freed from the rest of the fire, is probably dropping to barely a smolder. But he had no intention of setting the tree on fire to begin with. He just wanted to gauge the reaction. But he's kind of looking around at the tree and watching Frogor. And then when Frogor's finished his search of the thing, he's just like, come here a minute.
Frogor mallardly hops to a branch nearby, and like mallards are known to do, suction onto the branch and like hang off it a little bit.
Classic
so they're
mallard
like
behavior.
Probably for the first time actually face to face. Yes?
What is your take on these individuals?
They're obviously very good knights. I mean, their armor is so shiny. Did you see that sword? Look at my sword. And he pulls out his sword and it's just banged up and dented. And I try my best to look after it. I can't make my sword look like that. What makes... And did you see those horses? Nothing against Hogor, of course. Hogor's the best steed I could ever ask for. But did you see those horses? What
Very
am I
impressive.
supposed to do?
Learn, improve.
Well,
But
I'm
those
not going to get a
improvement-
bigger horse, am I? Hogor's already perfect.
For you. What if Ahatea demands a larger horse?
Well, I suppose we could have Hogor the Second, and maybe Hogor the Second can carry Hogor the First. And then Hogor won't have to walk around all the time.
To have a cart with Hogor in it.
Ah, Hogor would love that.
And then Ahatea atop Hogor.
Oh, how could we make this dream come true, Chuff?
Devotion, dedication, turning all the nighttime into the day. Anyway, I swear that
After
wasn't
all
on,
the violence, said the devil's fuck.
it was not on purpose.
Wow,
until-
that was not something I was expecting.
Nor I. I was at the end of the first word and I was like, wait a minute. This is tickling something.
To do the walk of life.
Do you think
Yeah.
there's really a door? Or do you think they're a bit strange?
I think there is really a door.
Do you think that their son is really through the door? This is probably where Chuff will... Oh, I think my...
Did an alarm go off?
No, my audio cut out.
Oh. You think this is where Chuff...
Realizes that all the things that Chuff said to take the mick out of the knights, Frogor was also taking seriously because Frogor's not very intelligent.
Yeah.
That's how we know that he's also a very good knight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is, I will say, I believe there is a guiding light for them behind that door. But not necessarily their son. I have not yet got... Go on.
I've never had a child, so perhaps I'm not the best person to judge. But if my son was stuck behind a door, I would probably have known about it earlier and would know for certain whether my child was behind that door, right? I don't understand how they could have lost him and then got him stuck behind a door, but they don't know which door, and then they think it's behind this door that only elves can open. How could he have got stuck behind a door if only elves could open the door? That might be why they think that elves are demons. No, wait, they don't. They think the elves are the only ones who aren't demons, and the rest of us are demons. I'm getting very confused, Chuff.
It's not that difficult a thing to do.
He's
But
gonna
you're
start
asking the
slowly
right
eating a
questions.
bat Rito.
No. You should probably attend to your mistress. I'm going to go outside and find a place to sleep.
You don't want to sleep in this tree?
I don't like sleeping indoors. No.
Frogor looks up at like the lack of
The
ceiling.
ruined walls and the CIA.
If Frogor's going to go out to the very edge of the furthest branch, so that he's the closest to the mistress as he can be while still being in the tree, because he kind of really likes this tree, and he's
It,
just
it
gonna.
leans alarmingly down, though, Frogor, a little bit, but it still holds. It still holds.
Excellent. He's gonna hold on, just like how ducks are very well known for being able to stay very well in trees.
See it every day.
So
Tree mallards, you know. Yeah.
Yep. And Chuff is headed outside. You said
he will be. He's kind of moving over towards where Toriel may now be.
Okay. I will come back to Toriel and you in a moment. Then I do want to cut, however, to Ahatea. Ahatea, I left you by the fire. We left you by the fire. What are you doing as Isidelia is just sort of still standing in the same, impressive
They were also
looking
still
position?
standing. Like Artia just kept tackling her, baiting her, trolling her the entire time. Was just like while all of that was happening, there was basically in the background 3 episodes worth of Looney Tunes happening.
And Isidelia
On stage.
Isidelia is just sort of stoically kind of, answering your questions, and then when you answer the same ones being like, no, or acting bemused and sort of like, what, when doesn't seem to understand the question, and so forth. And at one point, Isidelia says, in the process of your study of demons and other such things, have you ever found yourself being, I'm sure I don't mean to offend, but have you ever found yourself being drawn to their power? Of course, you're doing this for the sake of knowledge and not actually for the pursuit of power for its own means. But I just am curious, did you find yourself ever being almost seduced by the power that you felt in the creatures you were studying?
No, I have never been seduced by a demon.
Well,
And even if I was, I wouldn't tell you. That's private.
Oh, that would be very
What's wrong
difficult.
with you?
If you were seduced by a demon, there would be so many consequences. I'm glad that you were not. But no, I meant not seduced in that way. I meant, were you
Don't kiss
ever
and tell.
drawn, tempted? Were you ever tempted by the fruit of another? Tempted, but the truth was discovered.
Oh
What
God,
had
I
been
was
going
waiting
on?
for that.
It's your fault. You started it. There's no other,
I
she says.
didn't mean to.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, but she says, have you ever been tempted to take that power for your own? I'm just asking.
Well, considering that I just started studying specifically demons today, no.
That's good. Wait, today? You mean
Yeah.
you've decided you just want to study it? That now?
Well, you guys seem to know a lot about demons, and I like to soak up knowledge where I can.
Oh, well.
You lot seem to know a lot about those demons, though. Have you ever, nut, wink, wink, a demon?
And she says, I have never been seduced either, but that's... and then she kind of clears the throat. Why? I have sworn a sacred oath. The Dragon Knights will never be corrupted. And she turns her face again. By evil, lightning in a distance.
Right.
Why do they call you the Terrible? They mean terribly powerful? Terrible to
yes.
demons? What do they mean?
Well, the second part is yet to be seen. Like I said, I've never actually met any demons.
The terrible to evil things?
I'm not sure how many evil things I have met either.
I
I
just mean...
generally don't ask if somebody is evil. It's kind of rude, to be honest.
Well, but how else will you know? Evil must be called out at every opportunity. Otherwise, it could grow. It could even, for example, right now, you use this staff of yours, and she points to your staff, as a symbol of the terrible things you will wreak upon evil if it approaches you. But let's say that you just had that skull on there because you wanted it to, I don't know, act as a source of evil magic or something. That would be its own, that would be a terrible thing. Instead, you use it for the sake of good.
I
Clearly.
can use it for so many things. Like, look at this. How many apples are there left on the tree?
There are no apples left. You
Oh,
have the
there are no
last one,
apples.
and I think you ate
goddammit.
it. Yeah, no.
Okay, but like by now the fire should have like died down
There's
properly,
a
right?
frogor hanging in the tree.
There is a frogor hanging in the tree.
That's too big, I'm afraid.
You
No,
have
in
a
that case, she
skull.
would
Yeah.
like. There would probably be a bunch of bones lying around in the fire, in the ashes, right?
She might be able to find some, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she like uses grabbing function of her staff to fish out a piece of bone. Like, huh?
Yeah, and then she's like, yes, you have found a bone of evil, and it's a good thing that you did not actually try to take that bone directly with your hand, or I would have had a bone to pick with you because I would have had to take it away from you. That would have been so. I'm
But
glad.
I already picked the bone. Don't steal my punchlines.
And she nods, and you can see the very slightest hint of a smile, but immediately vanishes. And she's like, "Yes, well, well, I'm glad to know that you are on the side of good. I want you to know tomorrow that when we go to open the portal, that you need fear nothing. We are protected by the righteousness of our cause.
I need
fear not.
fear nothing.
Yes.
So who is this nothing that I'm supposed to fear?
No, I mean, you won't have to fear anything that you might have feared. If there was things in there that you feared, you won't have to worry about them.
Well, now I am worried. Why did you say that? That
Well,
is
It'll
a
be
terrible
fine.
way to reassure somebody.
It'll be
if they
fine.
weren't worried before.
I'm glad you weren't worried. I'm letting you know that you need be afraid of. There is nothing that you will have to worry about. And she.
But I now
rephrases
have to
herself.
worry about.
No, certainly not. We are here.
You are very confusing. Do you know that?
I think you'll see tomorrow why indeed you have done the right thing to support us, and why you too should perhaps take the test and join the cause of the Dragon Knights.
I already told you. I'm a duck. I float.
We
So your
need-
test doesn't work on me.
We need mallards too.
Yes, but your test is completely useless on me. You can't try to drown me because I float.
We don't do that anymore. Again, cleansing fire.
I told you I don't want to be burned.
And she says,
I
well,
know roast duck is
you won't have
very
nothing to worry
famous
about. You're
as
not a demon, right?
delicacy among you humans, but please don't.
she says, you have nothing to worry about. You're not a demon. Right?
Is the only things you can roast demons?
Demons must be dealt
Do
with
you
in
boil
this way.
everything else?
Well, perhaps occasionally pan-fry it a little bit. And, but no, demons, that's a whole different matter.
Does that mean I become a knight? I don't want to be a knight.
Well, why would you not want to become a knight? You serve a cause greater than yourself. You find the one true way. And you also get to wear this extremely impressive-looking armor.
It looks
Simply
very
by this alone.
heavy and cumbersome and in the way. Thank you very much. And also no pockets on the inside. See how many pockets I have? And she holds her robe open and like has just a billion pockets sewn in.
Are there
made of
anything
different
sticking out of
fabrics.
the pockets?
Oh yeah,
there-
totally.
Oh,
Yeah, like you know, like Eye of Newt and you know bat wings and whatever like out of there.
all sorts of occultist paraphernalia.
She's like, I'm glad that, and she looks at that. She's like, I'm glad that you've collected the remains of your evil enemies and bring them with you, so to show your reputation against evil. She says,
Yes.
and she nods and she says,
As you see, I successfully killed all of those things. Okay, I did not kill those. Like these guys were already dead. And this guy was already dead and then dead it again.
I see, but not exactly. But in any case, I am glad, Ahatea, that you have joined our righteous cause. And tomorrow we will see the true worth of a terrible, and she smiles at you, beatifically, a terrible wizard. Truly terrible.
Yes,
Just really.
the worst.
Yeah, the worst. Okay, by this point, Chuff has made it up to Toriel. What are the two of you doing, Chuff? Like, what do you do when you catch up there?
Kind of lean in. So,
Is this right behind? Like, do you silently
right. No. I'm not making any, stealthy movements to
Okay.
get in behind him. I mean, he can hear me when I'm coming up.
Okay.
Toriel, Did they say that they were in the process of interrogating someone else?
Yes, and I have a feeling that one might have stayed in the barracks behind us, and points back at the one with the open door. I saw a backpack and a bunch of shackles in there. However, I have a feeling that there's currently something going on inside the keep, and Toriel would like to take a peek inside, if that is discreetly possible, towards the barely audible bangs.
Okay. Sure, you could try to do that if you wish. If you do, you want to do like which one are you going to look through? This one down here.
The one I'm standing next to, yes.
Okay. Yep. So because it narrows to pretty much a slit, there's not much you can make out. I would say you can maybe see that much. There look to be inside this space where you're looking. You think that there may be some like pieces of they look to be almost like large pieces of wood or something that are just like or planks of wood that are lying on the ground below the window. But there's not a lot of light inside here. You think you might see some flickering light coming from off in the middle of the building somewhere, but way too dim for you to make anything out specifically, and you don't really even see movement. It's just the window's too narrow.
Okay, so Toriel would relay that information onto Chuff, of course. So you hear that? I think someone is working, or perhaps made to work inside there.
So the person that they're interrogating, and yes, I do hear it. This other person that they're interrogating, they said was an elf.
I believe so.
So what if you insisted on assisting? Perhaps some kind of racial affiliation might help coax more information out of someone they were interrogating. And when they tell you that they don't need your help, or they refuse to allow you to see the person that they are interrogating,
That would be suspicious.
oh, they're already well through suspicious. Our little friend who just wandered outside reeks of ash and sulfur. I haven't gotten close enough to smell the other two, but I suspect they may be quite the same.
Is Toriel aware of any sort of myth or information that would relate to individuals smelling like that?
Go ahead and make a myths and legends roll for me, please.
We're getting a lot of those this time around.
I know. See if we can actually get one.
Okay, we're doing great until you...
Welp. I mean, not in particular. And it's hard to know whether what Chuff describes is just because they were hanging out having a bonfire recently or because they do these things more regularly. I mean, but certainly you know of rituals that involve the burning of things, but nothing specific to, people or whatever.
So, Chuff, would you help me maybe help me find our bearings around here? Maybe take a peek up the wall and see where we are exactly, while I
Sure.
try and see what's beside that well over there. Like points towards the one in the north.
Okay, I don't have my map panned that far up yet. I'm like, what?
See.
What? Okay. Of course.
Okay.
Toriel would make his way up there.
Okay. So go ahead up that way. And you said Chuff is following for that?
Chuff is going up the stairs to the top of the wall to get a higher altitude look around the...
Got you. Okay. So let's have you do that. Nope, not that.
Yes,
There's
that's where I'm going.
No, I'm not talking to you.
Ah,
Who's on first? All right.
Skippy, who's on stage?
Okay. So. Okay. So let's see. And then we've got all the way down there. Okay. Now, and I think you could probably see as much as that. Something interesting. Are you, and you're going up like on the wall, but going in Toriel's direction? Are you looking in both directions, Chuff, as you go?
I'm looking in both directions to figure out which way I want to go.
Okay. Because there's something interesting, which is that the roof of this one is sort of intact of that room. It just looks like kind of a moss-covered, roof, sloping roof. This one, though, looks to be somewhat like have a couple of holes in it or something. I'll scroll down so chat can see that. This one there seems to have a few holes in it and is open to the air, like fairly large ones. You can see them even from where you're standing. Up the other direction is just the wall of what used to be the outside portion of the keep. A lot of it's sort of like, crumbled and so on, but still sort of visible to the surrounding countryside, you can see the surrounding countryside from it. And also you can see more of the sort of rise on which this place is set, which this fort is set.
Then I will head south.
Okay. I'm going to deal with you first, then Toriel, then I'm going to come to Frogor, and then Ahatea. So, unless everybody goes, we're all getting together, in which case we'll not do that. All right, Chuff, when you come down to about here, you get to the spot where you can sort of see the holes that I previously mentioned that are sort of in there. And so there is a lantern light sort of flickering from through one of those holes in the roof from this small shed. And as you approach it from the top, you hear tense hissing voices coming from inside that spot. Now, you can't make them out unless you basically you'd have to kind of sneak up to the, hole and listen, but you definitely hear this. Seems to be a couple of voices, maybe.
Since he's going basically full stealth mode, he's camoing up effectively, putting his hood up and pulling. There's like almost like a veil that he pulls from the inside of his hood to pull down so that the reflective tapetum of his eyes doesn't shine the light back in the direction of whatever he's doing. And so he'll put all that in place and then slowly lean in over the thing, being very, very careful, like some, Jason Bourne-ish 13th century Rome assassin might do, to very gently test like the edges of the roof and make sure they don't creak when he puts his weight on, that kind of thing.
You always know how to intrigue me, Trent. Now, I'm going to make a pitch to you. There are two holes in this roof. One is smaller, and that's the one that you're able to get to from the wall. If you climb out on the roof, you can get to the larger one, and that would make your roll easier when you actually get to it, to sort of, hear and not be heard. But you'd be going out on a roof. It's a trap. It's a trap. You see Admiral Akbar in the distance.
Ooh, sushi.
No.
All right. So evens, I go to the roof. Odds, I go for the smaller hole.
Yeah, the one on the wall. Yeah.
That thing.
The roof. It looks like. Did
Okay.
you say evens?
Yep. I forgot as soon as I clicked the button.
I think you said,
but
correct me if I'm wrong, I think he said evens was the roof.
I just said I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I did. I did say the roof. So yes, I'm going out on the roof.
Okay. So what I would like from you then is a roll. If you make this roll, then you will have a benefit to the second roll, as I mentioned. What I am looking for here, he says, as he comes down to the thing.
Sneaking.
Yeah, but before we do sneaking, I would like you to do an acrobatics roll first. Please.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you just silently. So there are a couple times where the roof is like, and you're kind of, but then you were able to get past it and avoid what looked like possibly weak spots in the roof. Now I would like you to make the sneaking roll, but I want you to make that at a boon, please.
Okay.
I've done this.
Probably should have selected a boon.
Well, that's okay. Just roll it a second time normally.
And so that hopefully I get a thing.
Yep. A dragon.
That's what, it's called.
Twas not a dragon, but both of them
so
were good,
close.
I know, it looked like it. Okay, so you do get there. And when you get there, you hear two voices. One deeper, possibly male. One a little bit higher, possibly female. And one of them, the male voice is, you think might be actually Nicleon's voice, but it is irritated and maybe even a little bit threatening. The other voice, maybe a little defiant. You hear Nicleon saying, and it's still very hard to make out, even though you're like as close as you dare, because like if you go any further, like the roof might give way. And you hear Nicleon saying, "Why refuse? If just translate other cellar door, you're free to get your out of here." And then the other voice says, "No, let me go. If you nicely, I might you, but coercion and threats, never." And the voice that sounds like Nicleon says, "I'm not going to a second time. You do what you have been asked, or pay the penalty that all must." And then again, the other higher voice, "Threats do not, no matter how shiny your arm, you have my answer. You will soon have my," says the male voice. And then the door opens, and from where you're standing, you do indeed see Nicleon striding out into the courtyard and heading up this way. And you then are just sort of like, now you've just been listening so far. But
Gonna say you should read Zoom chat.
oh,
So,
okay. Okay.
Let's see. What shall he do? So he walked out.
Yep. And walked up to the north.
Okay.
And you don't know entirely where he's going, but
Right, because I can't see him now.
right. Mm-hmm.
But he closed the door behind him.
He did, yes.
Okay. Okay. Chubb is going to make his way back back to the Quenelations.
Okay. You can do that without a check because you already know which places to avoid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he is going to sneakily, as quick as he can, move north along the palisade, if that's what it is. And but he's going to stay low enough that he doesn't skylight himself between the crenellations. So he's going to be much closer to the ground and
Okay.
almost on all fours,
Okay.
scurrying along, trying to catch up with where Toriel probably is.
Okay. Speaking of Toriel, all right, Toriel. So as I move up to you, you were headed up to the north and like around the keep. I think Toriel was your plan. If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Okay.
So basically take a peek around the corner.
Something interesting back here, Toriel. Because when you get to here, you can see there are stairs. There's a little, there is a, well, like somewhere is like, I told you, yeah. There is a, either like a well or a cistern or something like that from behind this area. However, it might be a well, and you could go over and look and see if there's anything inside it if you like. But the other thing that you notice is that right, let me move this over so Chet can see it. Right here, there is another smaller door that looks like a kind of a back door, basically, that you have not had a chance to, you'd have to go up closer to see more about it, but it definitely does not have the intimidating look of the front doors, the front bronze doors on the other side of the keep.
I see. So before investigating the door further, I would like to take a peek into the well.
Okay.
See if it's filled with water, and if that's not immediately obvious, maybe take a pebble that's lying around there, toss it in, and
Okay.
listen.
It does not look to be filled with water. There is no bucket hanging from it, nor is there a, I don't know, the spool, I guess, the thing that would be on top that would let the rope down. So you pick up a rock, you throw it down, and you just hear this like, tuk, 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 and then you hear doof, 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 and then drums in the, no, you don't hear any of that. But you do hear it just hitting the ground. It's a dry well, clearly. Now, you don't know if there's something at the bottom of it, the well, but it sounds just like a rock falling down a dry well, is what it sounds like.
Okay. That's good to know. Well, with that mystery cleared out, I would like to make my way towards the door and have a look. Is
Okay.
it a wooden door? Is it like open?
It is a
closed?
wooden door, and it is slightly ajar. In fact, it looks like it's a little warped so that it doesn't close all the way. It is, however, like it's closed in quotes at the moment, but it's not flush, like with the end. Not enough that you can see through it, but it doesn't look like it's, sealed shut.
And it also doesn't look like it's barred.
No.
Like in an obvious way.
No,
Okay.
that's right. But it probably, you don't know what kind of sound it would make if you tried to open it, but it does not look barred, no.
Mm-hmm. Can I use my experience in carpentry to make a guess at how loud it would be to open this door?
That's interesting. Let's see. I'm going to pop up and take a look at your character sheet because I don't know either whether you would. Yes, make a crafting roll for me,
Okay.
please.
Oh, a close one.
Close one, but it succeeds. So when you do that, it does. So you think that the door, first of all, probably can be opened based on how warped it is. You think you'd have to be very careful, and the example I'm going to give is going to seem very weird to everybody, but it's on my mind because I just sent all the ArvCon prizes to people. And one of the things I've been doing is repurposing boxes. Like shipping is expensive enough without me buying a whole bunch of new boxes. So I've been repurposing boxes, which means I have to peel the stickers off of them or blot them out with a marker. And when I peel them off, if I do them, like if you've ever tried to do that on a box, it just rips terribly. So if you're really slow, you can actually remove most stickers largely, but you have to be super patient. You think it would be one of those deals, Toriel, that you would have to like open the door really carefully to keep it from creaking, but it is possible. I'll tell you it'll require a sneaking roll to do it if you want to do
I
it.
see. Okay, I don't think I immediately want to do it. I think I will try to meet up with Chuff again first.
Good timing, because just at this point, you see Chuff emerging, I would say, probably here, Chuff, because you were trying to catch up. So I don't want. Are you okay with me moving you, Chuff, temporarily?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. So it would be.
Where's Nikolai Tesla in all of this?
You do not. Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, actually. So there's Chuff. So he was going up here. And then actually, as you pass by the stairs, he comes up and around. But fortunately for you, he doesn't go that way. He goes this way, to the south. And I will show that to chat, sorry. There's the guy going south. You, on the other hand, are going north. Okay, and you now see Toriel kind of looking up and around, and Toriel, you in turn see Chuff on the wall. And I'm going to come to Frogor in just a minute.
Yeah, Chuff comes down and tucks in as close to Toriel as he has to whisper, whoever they're interrogating, she's in that room. And he was the one doing it. She basically said that if he would ask nicely, she might consider, I think, doing the translation for him, but threats and coercion were not going to work. So
It seems they had some sort of falling out before.
what I'm worried about is that these people are not knights. That these, I'm beginning to suspect, are the demons. And they're trying to get someone of your lineage to open that door and either release whatever's inside or let them in to get to whatever they need to further their own agenda. Thus, these people. They offered us sleeping bags earlier. Where did all these sleeping bags come from, too? And also,
you might remember them mentioning they have been here for 10 days. Take a look down the well. I can hardly imagine anyone using that for a long while.
Excellent point. I'm trying to remember if Chuck was close enough to hear them talking to Ahatea about, we think that there's evil in this building. No, it was when Tora was asking where are the evil spots.
And Tylos,
she was like,
yeah, right, when she was there, yep. Mm-hmm.
So if they know where the evil is, why aren't they in there purging it? Instead of standing around out here.
That's a good point. Maybe they just don't want us to go in there.
I think if we did, we'd very quickly find out that whoever they have in there is being forced to try to either dig through the door, around it, or whatever. These people do not seem like knights to me. Granted, I don't know that much about knights aside from he kind of looks back toward the tree. But they seem very unlike any knight I have ever met. I would have mentioned all of this to Frogor, but he only has one volume level, so.
How would you judge the chance of them having perhaps stripped the other party that is around here of their equipment and posing as them?
Well, if the one that was getting a tan in that bonfire was the last one of them, very likely.
That might explain the smell.
Maybe, but that fire was fairly recent, and Tallow was with us for a good long while before that happened, so he shouldn't smell like that fire.
You have a point.
So what I'm trying to decide is, do we focus on rescuing her? Or do we just... I don't want to try to do anything without talking to the other two about it.
It makes sense. I had a look at the back door, and well, while it seems we can probably open it, I don't think it will be particularly silent. So sneaking in there might be a challenge if you want to sneak a peek. Unfortunately, in broad daylight, that's probably difficult. Maybe we should try again later.
It's almost sunset now.
It's actually darker than that. It's probably dusk, you would say.
Night vision.
Yeah.
Good point.
Everything is green and wireframe. It's a Call of Duty episode.
So maybe you can have a look inside.
Oh. Yeah. And so Chuck will step up to this window over here, or arrow slit, or whatever it is. Ballista slit.
Ballista slit. Which one?
This one here.
Okay. All right. When you step up to look at it, you do see flickering light inside. But unfortunately, it's not so much the darkness as it is the narrowness. You just don't have much of an angle, Chuff. Like, you can see a little further down here to see that there are more of these, what look like, they might be wooden pallets or something, but you can only see really the edges of them because you can only, go so far. And you don't see anything moving in your field of view, but you do faintly hear the sound of the, that you've been hearing before. But that's all you can see, not because of light, just because of angle.
All right. So, you know how they had for a while on either Vine or TikTok or whatever app it was, they had videos of people doing their hands like this and their dogs coming up and sticking their nose through them. Without doing that and having this big wolf nose sticking in through the arrow slit, Chubb's going to get in as close as he can and try to take in any scent that's in that area.
Okay. Let me have you make, I think it's probably going to be awareness, but let's see. Yes, let's have an awareness check, I think.
This is reminding me of when I open a sandwich when I'm like in my car in the driver's seat and Moog's like snoot appears but
Right.
down the side.
Can't help but notice that. Okay. So 6, which is a success. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say that you smell here a couple of probably humans, if you had to guess. There's a lot of body odor in here. Let me start with that. Like very sort of strong people that have not showered for quite a while. And
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, but you could note it though, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so you can definitely smell that. The other thing is the smell of fresh dirt. Unquestionably, the smell of freshly turned dirt. There's also some mustiness here, which may come from the inside of this place, although, again, large portions of the roof have fallen and all that, but still some kind of mustiness scent. But the most distinctive ones are the BO and maybe a little bit of sulfur. That's a little strong, but basically the idea of flames, like torches or something, and then, or lantern light, oil, and then definitely the smell of freshly turned dirt.
That's that all along tutorial.
It seems they're digging for something here.
Those boards could be from torn up floor. Clear it away so they could get to the earth beneath it.
Or do you think they're hiding something?
No. Something, what's her name, said that there's corruption right here beneath our feet.
You have a point.
I think we should reconvene with our companions.
That seems like a good idea. And Tora would start walking down again.
Okay. Chuff, assuming you're doing the same, I'm going to jump to one of those companions, and specifically Frogor. Frogor, you are sitting in, or lying, I guess, like attached to the tree. Are you immediately falling asleep, or are you sort of getting the lay of the land, watching Hateo, watching the people, looking at the keep, daydreaming of swords? Like, what is Frogor doing during this time?
Frogor is intensely studying what it is to be a good knight, like these people are.
Okay.
He's like watching like the rotation of the guard. He's watching the way that she's, Isolde, whatever her name is, that she's just sitting there like that. Like, how does she keep it like that? How are they keeping the sword? None of them are cleaning their swords, but they're clean. The swords are also clean. Like, he's trying to act like it's not a big deal, but he is like bug-eye watching them all. Like, how are they just so good at knighting?
Specifically Isidelia, I suppose, or are you paying attention when, for example, Nick Leon shows up out of here, like comes out of this?
Yeah, he's paying
way.
attention to everything that he can see. Like, he's watching the way that Nick Leon is doing his rounds, watching, like, just watching all of their behavior.
So I would like you to make an awareness check for me, please.
Awareness? An intelligence-based check. Absolute. Let me
Just kick his ass, no problem.
Yeah, Truff just did it.
I just need to check. I have a Bane on awareness too.
Oh, because of the hat. Yeah.
Oh, when I was rolling earlier, I was doing it with a Bane because I had a Bane left on the top of my screen.
Oh, but I mean, you were right though. Don't you get a Bane for awareness because of the hat? I think is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I had one when I was doing other checks.
Oh. Hard to keep up with the Banes.
Awareness.
Demon. Dun dun
See?
dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Although you should roll the other one because it's not going to matter because actually. Yeah.
No, that was my. That was both of I did that
Right,
thing,
because
so
it only
Bane
does
already
that.
on it.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah. So I mean, good job on getting the so you can mark off. I think it probably already did mark off awareness.
Yeah, I saw it come up and I knew
yeah.
that was either really good or really bad.
So you just saw him like walk out of the room and slam or close the door behind him and then stride off towards the north. You're not entirely sure why that was, but and so your attention turns back to Isidelia. Who is talking with Ahatea. Can't quite make it out except that every so often Ahatea is like, and, Isidelia is like, dramatically, shakes her head no, hands on the pommel, or says a couple things here and there. But it feels very much like Isidelia is not super, responsive to what's going on.
And every now and then, if anyone were watching Frogor, they would see Frogor like doing this on the branch, and then like occasionally like shaking his head, or like copying the mannerism. Like there's this particular like stoic way. How does she make her face look so condescending yet peaceful at the same time? Is it like this?
Or this other way? So I want to point out that as you're sort of looking at, hey, big boss, as you're looking at Isidelia, and Isidelia continues to sort of stoically, the other thing you're really impressed with is the stillness. Like Isidelia, like just statue-like, like this just seems to have no tremor, no like, I'm feeling tired after standing this way for however long.
And she just always knows when lightning is about to strike.
Yeah, just seems to be
always
very
facing that way.
Yep, absolutely. I would like you to, let's see, we did the awareness there. Yeah, no. Just seems, one thing you can tell for sure is that Isidelia, who has this sort of long red hair, is quite young. And that's something you notice about Nick Leon too. As I mentioned, Tylos is a little bit older, but Nick Leon and Isidelia are both pretty young. Not teenager, but definitely very like you would have thought of them as rather green, if they were just sort of showing up in a soldiery or something like that.
Right.
But quite
they're
young.
obviously really good knights. So is Frogor getting that sense of like, you've been working really hard to try and become an author, and you've been putting in the grind year after year, and you're slowly getting some traction, and then like Christopher Paolini just gets an amazing big book deal with Aragon at 14 years old, and you're like, how do some people just... I don't get it. I've been working so hard for so long. Maybe I'm just not cut out for being a knight.
I don't understand why we need to be personally attacking people here right now. If I be honest. Who knew that all I have to do is change one letter on a very famous word, and all of a sudden everyone wants to publish your stuff? I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Christopher Paolini. I was on a panel with him too, but only on a panel with him. Didn't have a... Anyway, yeah. There's. You definitely get the sense. You don't get the sense, though. I mean, they sort of... She certainly looks the part. Now, you haven't seen them fight yet. But the fact that, as you mentioned, the armor is clean, the sword is clean, like that all speaks to their ability to do some knightly stuff pretty well. But you can't tell yet sort of beyond that level, but they certainly seem to be focused on the part that's there. And in fact, as you're looking, since you're looking directly at her, you can see that there is a symbol that is fully visible on her cloak and her cloak buckle. And I would like you to make a Myths and Legends roll, please, as you're watching this person. How you doing, big boss?
I'll clear the bane away first.
Okay, yes.
Myths and more intelligent. Let's go. We all know that Frogor is highly intelligent.
Absolutely.
Oh, does that...
Is it meets it?
Yeah,
beats it?
that's right. Look at that.
Intelligence.
I think that there's actually a reason for this, that this works, because you are almost certain that the thing that you're looking at is the symbol of Eladane, the Dragon Emperor. And in fact, it's a similar symbol to what you would have seen on the drawing that sort of laid out the pieces of the dragon statuette, the Dragon Emperor statuette. The same kind of symbol is visible on this person's, like the clasp of their cloak and cloak buckle. So this definitely is the symbol of Eladane, the Dragon Emperor, that you can see on them. And as you're staring at that and you're kind of going, ooh, I wonder, all of a sudden, as you're looking at this person, the face seems to morph for a moment, or like shimmer or swim. And then all of a sudden you realize that everything, not just the face, is shimmering or swimmering. And you get this, suddenly in your mind, this set of chaotic series of sensations. You smell, Frogor, the smell of a root cellar, the sort of earthy smell of a root smeller. You see a magnificent tree with golden fruits. You feel this intense sense of captivity and a longing for freedom. And lastly, you hear languages check, please.
More intelligence.
Sorry. Nope. You just hear this whispering, and then the shimmering stops, and you're just sort of looking again at Isidelia, Atea, and the fire. But what you experienced just now, Frogor, felt astonishingly real. Smells, sights, sensations.
Frogor would like to double check that the apples have not regrown on the tree, because that would be nice.
They have not, unfortunately.
Okay. He would like to mallardly hop down from the tree.
Okay.
And go over very close to Isidelia.
Okay.
And just look at her face. You know, as they're still talking, just stare really close. Like
right next to her?
Yeah, right next to her.
Okay.
I mean, he's quite small, so it's probably still like even she's sitting on the ground, he's probably still like shoulder height.
Yep.
Just checking, is there any labels on her, like, because obviously like Frogor, in case he loses his armor, has got written on the inside in Sharpie like his name and servant
Like
of
a kid at
Ahatea
summer
the Terrible.
camp, like please return to. Yeah.
If lost, please return to Ahatea the Terrible.
Yeah.
It's more intended for if he's lost with the armor than
Right,
if the
of
armor's
course.
lost on its own.
course.
Sort of check, trying to surreptitiously, but not very surreptitiously, because this is Frogor, check if there's like any labels on the clothing, if it,
Okay, let me have a sneaking roll from you. Chuff and Toriel, you would come around the corner as this check is taking place. So, 17 with a 5. So as you come around the corner,
rattling my teeth.
Yeah. Chuff and Toriel, as you come around the corner, you can see Frogor staring and basically holding the teeth and almost sort of moving, trying to move that you think might be a frog stealth. I mean, that is to say, a duck stealth way, and is just sort of patting at Isidelia's cloak.
Turns the inside of her, pulls the collar up at the back to look for a label.
And Isidelia's like, whoa, whoa, and sort of pulls away, and then says, "What are you doing?"
Don't be alarmed, but I saw your face move.
My face.
Yes, it moved. It was like, whoa. And then I saw the tree. It had loads of apples, but there's no apples on the tree. And I felt, oh. Did you borrow that armor from somebody?
And she says, she shakes her head slowly. She says, no. But if you sensed those things, and she turns slowly in the direction of the door, the bronze doors, the keep, then perhaps we must accelerate the timeline. The corruption is spreading. And as she sees Toriel and Chuff round the corner, she says, and perhaps only the 4 of you can help us before the corruption takes over entirely. And as Toriel and Chuff hear faintly from the window slats, we will bring our session to a close. That's what I call some mystery, people. We got some intrigue, we got some mystery, we got back doors, corrupted what the hell things, visions, cats and dogs living together. It's not chaos. I love it. This was great. And I am very excited to see what people get into as they explore this totally normal, no problem whatsoever fort. Which is just, that has no issues, and what would be the, what's the problem? Everything's okay. Okay, I'm going to start with Frogor this time. I think I try to go back and forth if I can. So I will begin with, hold on a second. Why can I not find, there we go. All right. So let me ask, Frogor, Bruce, did you participate in the game session?
Yes.
Yes, I haven't forgotten, Trivet. Yes, you have. I agree. Okay, what would you like to mark then? In addition to your demon, which was awareness. So what else would you like to mark?
I would like to mark spot hidden, please.
Okay, I love that. Did you explore a new location? Now, this one is interesting because
I definitely didn't today.
I don't think so, yeah. Some of the others I might think about that with Toriel and with Chuff. But okay, so we'll say no. Did you defeat one or more dangerous adversaries?
No.
Right. Did you overcome an obstacle without using force?
No.
Okay. Did you give in to your weakness? Possibly, maybe.
Yeah, right? I did eat another battery too.
You did
and you
also
took a bite out of Alhaitea's apple.
Oh, I
Alhaitea's
took
apple.
a bite out of that. That's terrible of me, truly. Sure, yeah. I would say taking a bite out of food that belongs to the mistress is pretty terrible of me.
Okay.
So yes, I will put that in bluffing.
All right. Just before you roll, as a reminder to everyone, always let me know if you're doing something that you think is clearly against your weakness, because that has a separate thing that we do. But, okay. All right. Let's make that advancement roll. Let's see what you get.
Right, and I have one from the...
From the awareness, the demon for the awareness, I think, right?
Yeah, let's go. Click the button.
All right. So we did not advance awareness, which is which is really kind of stunning, actually, that you did not advance awareness, given this speech. You did, however, advance in bluffing, but did not advance in spot hidden. That's really unlucky because
this is exactly the wrong way round.
Yeah, this is what you should have been doing. Right, exactly. This is not when you want it. For like awareness and spot hidden, the hope would have been that it would have been visible. It would have been above it because these are not high numbers, but sadly it was not to be. You actually had the hardest one was the one that you actually did get with bluffing. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So good stuff today from Frogor. I loved the little discussion with Chuff. What's so fun to me about this party as well is the fact that like everyone processes things like everyone's kind of like, this seems a little off and we don't know why, but everyone's still processing it in their own character's way. So Frogor's kind of like, did you see the shiny sword? And did you see the thing with the stuff? And did you see? And Chuff's like, yeah, and Chuff is not like, not that, you clown, I'm talking about this. Like there's this sort of a general sense of like, this is the kind of person that Frogor is, but obviously Frogor really does mean well to try to be a good knight. And if this isn't knighthood as it should be, and what does that mean? I just had real fun watching that sort of play out and get processed this way. How did you feel? How did you fail? You failed with the awareness.
So many ways.
You failed so many times. How did you feel about today's session, Bruce? Where will the fine folks see you next?
Yeah, I've had fun as usual. I'm really going to be torn next session, I think, between like, obviously some people in the party think that these are not the knights. Frogor's kind of like, I mean, if these aren't knights, what is a knight?
What is a knight?
Right? Like they are they're the knightiest knights ever to knight, not even in just their shininess, but like she's so calm and beatific and just still like yeah, so I think Frogor's definitely going to have a hard time not being on side with the knights because they're such good knights. Like, like they've got to be doing good or, well, doing knightly things, which is good. I mean, which is terrible, which is good. So yeah, it's going to be really, I mean, I think, ultimately Frogor will do whatever Ahatea demands, but it's going to be difficult next session, I think. I'm very excited to find out if they are evil or not.
Yeah, the revelation will be fun.
Yeah, they're currently doing the "I'm not evil" from the second Lego movie, Queen Whatever I Wanna Be, where she does the song where I'm not evil.
So clever, and like it's just like, no, I'm really actually not evil. Like, it's just the most suspicious of all time. Oh man. Yep.
So yeah, loads of fun, and the fine folks will find me next, I believe, in the next Saltmarsh session.
Yes, although we will have to see, because I posted about that in the Discord that I can't do Sunday the 14th, so we may have to change things around. But yes, soon. Also, quick note to everyone about that, which is that is going to probably very soon be moving back to Tuesdays again. Which will be much better for me, and hopefully will be good enough for these folks. Although I know for the folks, which includes everyone here except Tren, who's in Europe, that makes it harder because of it being late. But we're going to try to do what we can to try to start it early enough, regardless. So, but Ghosts of Saltmarsh will probably be changing time frames relatively soon. But regardless, you will see Bruce Peck here either for that or definitely in a couple of weeks. For Dragonbane, we'll be here again. So thank you, Bruce. Good stuff as always. Moving right up the line. Tren, did you participate in the game session today?
Yes.
You did. What would you like to mark?
Oh shit! Right, forgot about that part.
Shit is not an option. I'm sorry.
Okay, thought it was right under the sleight of hand. So I think I will put this into listening to everybody talking about stuff. I think I'm going to put it in myths and legends.
Okay. I love that.
Just because everybody's like, oh, well, there's this and this and this, and Chubb's like, I don't know anything about this stuff.
I need to do a little bit of history reading.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you now the explore a new location? I might be tempted to say yes on this, but it's up to you whether you think you did. You did explore a lot of this place, or try to. But I'll take either way.
The only part that I think could count is getting on the roof and looking down into the area that we couldn't see before.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was kind of all part of the exterior, the interior, exterior of the of the thing that we could have seen from anywhere in the thing.
So maybe next time, if you go into one of those buildings, that's a different matter, perhaps theoretically. If you
possibly, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well then, yeah. I mean, just sort of listening to it probably doesn't count. All right. We'll say no on that then. Did you defeat one or more dangerous adversaries?
No.
Okay. Did you overcome an obstacle without using force?
Does trolling 3 nights count? No, I didn't really overcome them. So.
No, although I do wonder a little bit about the... Well, I was wondering a little bit about the listening in thing, but that may have just been a check, but it was because I gave you an extra option than, what you chose to do. That's why I'm curious a little bit. That's another one that I might also be willing to do. But again, I trust your honesty about it either way. If you don't think it counts, then it doesn't. But it wasn't just a normal whatever check, because you were making a decision about the check first.
That one I could say yes, and I would put it in sneaking if that were the case.
Yep. Then I would say yes to that. Did you give in to your weakness?
Almost.
Yeah.
No.
Not quite.
Well, I mean, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 2. All right. All right. Go ahead. Please make that roll. Let's see what we got.
I'm trying to click on the sneaking thing, but my mouse pointer keeps going over it and then over it the other way and then past it and then past it and then past it.
Darn it.
I hate this mouse. I really hate this mouse. There, I got it. Okay. Here we go.
Once again, so you did not advance in myths and legends, because even though you only have a 6, you rolled a 2. So where was that during the session? But then also you did somehow get better at sneaking, because you actually surpassed that. So sneaking goes up, myths and legends does not. So even more sneaky. Your sneaking actually is getting pretty sick now at this point with a 15.
Yeah.
Pretty no joke.
Yeah.
So again, good stuff I thought from Chuff. A lot of good moments too. I was reminded of other characters. Yeah, what
you said to make note of it to you when we got to 15 or 16 in a given.
That's a good question. Thank you. Yes. No, not 18 is what you need to get into.
Okay.
When you increase it to 18. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Please continue.
So I really appreciated today, having played with you for many years. I appreciated that there were moments that other characters of yours would have continued to challenge the so you killed innocent people, blah, 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 blah. Chuff did this, but Chuff wasn't doing it to be like, you jerks because of this, like Fifely or whatever. Instead, Chuff was doing it because Chuff was like, you people are just not logical about things. Like, this is not, let's be clear about it. And you kind of didn't know, again, that whole being bemused by people was a part of it. And it wasn't that like you become this brilliant mastermind that foresees all things, but something smells off, literally smells off. And it was something that you were able to talk with Toriel about. And I thought that the conversation that you had both with the Knights as a whole and with Frogor about like sort of talking about the knightly things and talking with Toriel were good, like almost these 3 standout convos that gave us some more information and gave Chuff more information without sort of making you into a character that they're not. And obviously you got that useful information about there's someone being kept there and what does that mean. And so those speculations about what that might mean was a lot of fun to watch. And given that, I am curious how you felt about today's session and where the fine folks will find you next.
There's a scene in Stargate SG-1, I think it's in season 7, when they are confronting one of the it's either one of the gold or one of the Java that works for the gold, and Colonel O'Neill just keeps just poking at the guy, just keeps just being a jackass. Of course, his name's Jack, but just keeps doing that kind of. And Corin Nemec, his character Jonas Quinn, is like, is it really necessary to antagonize him? And Jack's like, yes. And that's just kind of how it feels sometimes with Chuff, is that part of him is like, something doesn't, it's just not sitting right with me. I need to keep poking this bear until it unwittingly admits something, but I don't know what that is yet. I've just got to, it's also like with Babylon 5 in season 1, when in fact, I think it's episode 1, where Commander Sinclair is like, if you really want to know somebody, make them angry. Then you're going to see the person. And that's kind of what he does, is he's just like, I've got to, just get them so emotional that their logic shuts off and they start reacting without thinking. And that's kind of what he's doing.
Yeah. And the suspicion is there, but again, I hadn't thought of it that way, but suspicion, but no one really knows exactly of what. Like, something's wrong. I don't know why it's wrong though, like, or wrong in what way. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see what Chuff comes up with. The thing about the smells and the scents was,
if anything.
Yes, you open it up and it's just a kids' party. Everyone's having a good time, and
oh no!
And they come up and hug your leg. And oh man, yeah. Big Boss has the quote, Trent: "The best way to understand someone is to fight them, make them angry. That's when you see the real person."
Yeah,
that's Jeffrey Sinclair from Babylon 5. Good stuff. Where will the fine folks see you next turn?
I have no idea. No, I'll be here.
I probably actually will be for the Eberron postmortem episode, where we talk about stuff now that campaign is complete. For those of you who know, Tren is also part of our Infinity Beyond crew, and we will be starting a Dragonlance campaign soon, which is going to be interesting. So anyway, but thank you, Tren. Good work today, as always. And don't forget, everyone, go check out Tren's voice at the trailer of Stars Reach. God damn it. Stars Reach.
I kept forgetting it too. Don't worry.
Stars Reach, and because that is going into early access. Is that available only on Steam, do you think, or is it possibly gone?
I think it might be going to both. It's something I didn't mention before, is that it's also from the people who created I know they made they were part of the team that created Star Wars Galaxies, which I know, if I remember correctly, you enjoyed that a lot. And I've forgotten the other one, but I think it was EverQuest. Something.
Oh, old school. Okay, cool. Is it an MMO then? Is that like it's?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very cool.
And it has a very, very EverQuest Next look to it.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I did love that back in the day. Awesome. Thanks, Tren. I'm excited to see more. Tari had to step away. Tari, however, will be back with us the next time we meet, which will be in a couple of weeks, for the next Dragonbane. And so until then, and actually, if all 3 players could also help remind me that we need to make sure we get her character leveled at the beginning of, from this session, just like catch up for that. But otherwise, you should follow all of Tari's stuff. And if you scroll, let me see if I can find it. If I scroll all the way up here, there was, where did we go? There we go. Let me just give a copy here. Copy to clipboard, and then post it here. It's like 80s action film. Tari will return in. Yes, so that is the new zine that Tari is doing, did some work for, cover work and so forth, which is kind of a big deal. It is only in German, but still you get to watch. If you do not speak German, you speak Tari Toon's art anyway, and so you should definitely listen to that and pick that up and let people know about it. And if you do speak German, well then your Christmas has arrived, so you can go get
And if you don't, learn.
Yeah, that's also that. But anyway, we'll have Tari back with us in a few weeks. Last but certainly not least, Crocs, as I'm moving up the column this time, did you participate in the game session?
I feel present, yes.
You did feel present. So we mark that. What are you going to mark?
I am going to attempt, what was it? Spot Hidden.
Spot Hidden. Good one. All right. Did you explore a new location? If we're using the same logic that we did with Tren, You might decide that maybe next time if you go through the back door, or if you do the whatever, that might be, so I would say it's close for you though, because you did go to a couple of like, sheds and listened into things and stuff like that. So I don't think you're going to be able to double dip is my point. Either you're going to do it this time or next time. So I don't know, what your preference is in terms of whether you explored or not. Oh, thanks.
I think I'll take it for this turn.
Okay. Then in that case, what are you going to mark?
I'm going to try my luck with hammers again.
Okay. Sounds good. Did you defeat one or more dangerous adversaries?
No.
I don't think so. Did you overcome an obstacle without using force?
I don't think there was any obstacles.
Yeah, I don't think so. Did you give in to your weakness?
No.
Okay. So we've got two marks then. And let's see what it looks like when you make that roll. Sadly, neither one. Both spot hidden 3 out of 10. Hammers 11 out of 15. Sorry. You got a lot early on, Toriel, but have not gotten one as many of late. So I'm sorry about that. Again, I thought that Toriel, first of all, the fact that everyone wanted to keep they were super interested in Toriel and like, hey, can you help us out here? But then also Toriel's idea to sort of explore around kind of the outside of the keep. I really liked the conversation that you had with Chuff where both of you were speculating about maybe this means this. It could be that they're actually doing that. Maybe they're digging into the other because of the other thing or whatever. All of you, again, speculating along the axis of what your characters would be. I thought there was a funny moment also where Ahate is doing this whole thing about like, oh, so you're immortal. So like, does that mean that, you're also invulnerable to damage? And you were like, do not poke me. Like, don't do that. Felt very Toriel-like to me. But also
there may be prior experience with that.
Yeah. And also just figuring out a little bit about, the sort of the weirdness of this place and how Toriel wants to process it relative to everybody else. Like, is this what the hell is going on here? Because something is wrong, even though you can't quite tell what. So I liked all of that. How did you feel about today's session, Crux? Where would the lovely folks find you next?
Yeah, it was fun and interesting as always. I am somehow now more convinced that this may be part of some older ancient elven ruins that may have been built on top of. Mm-hmm. You have to convince me otherwise now.
Built it on an Indian burial ground. It's all poltergeist. And
you only moved the headstones.
Why did you do that?
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah, no, it was fun. I enjoyed our interactions today. Yeah, I could just basically just second what has already been said at this point. Yeah, I will be here next for Dragonbane, but I think not next session, but the one after that.
Yeah, because I think you're not going to be here in 2 weeks, sadly, but we will see you back here next month. I did pull back the map just so that chat could see how much of the inside of this keep has been explored yet. No one has walked on the ceiling. No, although Chuff did walk on a roof and narrowly avoid falling through it. So we did have that. But yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see how this all works. And Crocs, we will see you back here next month. For everybody else, for Tari, for Tren, and for Bruce, we will see them back in a couple of weeks. Chat, can we get some love for the awesome and amazing players of Dragonbane? I have so much fun with this campaign. Thank you to Crocs. Thank you to Tari. Thank you to Tren. Thank you to Bruce. And I'll see you folks in various places quite soon. Bye for now, everybody.
Goodbye.
All righty. Good stuff. I really have been enjoying the Dragonbane campaign a lot. I like the system. I really enjoy the players for this. It's been a lot of fun to watch this go. Now, nobody leave yet because we have a nomination to do. We have got to do nominations for the chat chosen game of the month. And because somebody, not named Arv, not nicknamed Arv, totally remembered that and didn't actually forget that it was going to be next week that it was going to happen. So it's fine. Oh, also I didn't show off my shirt. GM equals PC squared. And on the back of the shirt, it says, "Thou can certainly try." DM 4.7. A shirt made by my wonderful daughter and my wife and daughter apparently had this idea that they got from me a little while ago. And I honestly didn't know until about, I think it was yesterday. I didn't realize that, or 2 days ago. Thank you, Effect Life, for the tier 2 sub. I appreciate it. I thought I saw you hanging out here. Thanks, Effect Life. I didn't realize until 2 days ago that actually they literally designed the shirt. Like they had made me a shirt. One of the shirt that they made me was a shirt that said D&D Dads Build Character. And I wore it during my son's birthday party. My son just turned 10 and on Sunday. And I was wearing it, and at some point it came up that they didn't just find it at like some Etsy store and buy it for me, but they actually like my daughter designed it, like the whole thing. And I'm like, that actually, okay, that's what this is all about. So anyway, I enjoy this shirt. Rather tired. I'm sorry to hear that you're tired, but that's no problem. Effect Life either way. Okay. So very excited to see what gets into this. It's going to be great later on. Okay, so now what we have got tonight is the nominations. So I'm going to pull up something that we like to call in the biz the ARVBot Plus, designed by the extraordinary Effect Life. There we go. Okay. Pull that up, and then we're going to get us the polls. Polls should pop up now. There we go. And last but certainly not least, we put it up there. There we go. All right, and the question is, what game should ARV play? Now, this is going to be a little bit of an accelerated timeline because I'm going to be accelerated timeline because it's going to be next Tuesday that we're doing. So let me do the nominations there. And so there we go. So if you want to nominate, you can go $nom, $NOM, space, and then the game that you would like to nominate. Darwin's Paradox. Very, very cool. Big Boss, can you just do the official one just so we can see it pop up there? Would you mind doing that? So $nom, space, Darwin's Paradox. I've never heard of that, by the way, but that sounds really cool. I dig it. Okay, Esterma is nominated Bravely Defaults. I knew that was, I was waiting for that, Esterma. I was hoping you were going to be here so that you could do that because I know you've been pumped up about doing that for a while. All right, who else? Darwin's Paradox, Bravely Default. Again, I always reserve the right to veto if something is not going to work out in terms of doing it before. Yeah, go ahead and nominate for that one. Actually, you know what, Trivet, I'll do it. I'll do it because you can nominate one. I will put Echo Alpha X5. Okay. All right. So any others from people? Again, the last game that was nominated just from a couple of months ago was Tactical Breach Wizards, and I ended up, again, playing that through. I would say about probably 50 to 60% of the games that get nominated, I end up eventually finishing. About 50%. About 50% of them I play for a session. I'm like, oh, this is cool, but then I don't continue it. But about 50% I do actually continue. So, and Chad has had a good run. Viewfinder, I think, was one of them that was nominated. I'm now playing that over on GOG. I'm going to be finishing that up today at 4 o'clock over on GOG. So yeah. Other ones, other thoughts. To be released game for Halloween too early is not yet released. Yeah. 6 Ages. Oh yeah. Can you remind me again? I'm so sorry, Prince Justin. I know you told me this before. Can you remind me about that game? Oh, and while Prince Justin is doing that, can we take a moment to congratulate Prince Justin and to congratulate Triffid for being nominated as part of the Skiffy and Fanty podcast for the Ignite Awards. The Ignite Awards, which are a very well-respected genre award, and there were a lot of good people that were nominated in that. So congratulations. I wanted to say that. There are other people that I know that are in it as well. Martha Wells, who I'm friends with, and other people like that who are great people around the genre and people like that I know. But just congratulations. I thought that was super cool. So congratulations to both of you. Okay. Yep, the Ignite Awards. And Skiffy and Fanty has been nominated for the Hugo and like multiple things, but it's just that's very cool because Ignite, I think it was also, and there was a whole award that was about sort of like unsung heroes of the genre. Maurice Broaddus was nominated for that too. So very, very cool. Sea of Stars is not on the list, and actually I'm trying to remember because actually wait, maybe it was. No, I think it was. I think it has been nominated. I keep thinking that at some point I'm going to come back to Sea of Stars, and I just haven't. Chained Echoes was on there too. That was a game that I kept playing. The problem with Chained Echoes, honestly, was that it was just too long for streaming. Like it was just kind of a grind, and it just didn't feel like a stream game that really worked. And that Sea of Stars had a little bit of that for me too. So yeah. Remake of Ocarina of Time was announced for Switch 2. I heard that. Did you hear that there was there's a new Final Fantasy game, a series that I'm not familiar with. Resonance is like the new game that's going to be this connection to something else. Final Fantasy VII Revelation, which is the third of that trio of the stuff that we've got, the triad there. Trilogy. Jesus, all of a sudden I was like, what the hell happened to my brain? Trilogy. The trilogy of games. That third one right there is coming out in 2027, and I am all over it. Also, The Wolf Among Us 2 coming out next year. I'm all over that also. 2027 has 2 games for sure I'm playing. One of them is Final Fantasy VII Revelation. The other one is The Wolf Among Us 2. 100% doing that. Anyone can vote in the Ignite Awards for the low price providing your email. Absolutely should do that for sure. Okay, 6 Ages. Right. I want to look this up quickly because Prince Justin is really not here, so I want to honor that. Right. Interactive fiction and turn-based strategy. Yes, I had heard about that. The sequel to the game King of Dragon Pass. Yes. Okay, I remember about that too. Final Fantasy VII Rewarmed Leftovers. Now is Terma. The Final Fantasy VII trilogy of games has been incredible, I think, in my opinion. All right, anyone else? These are 4 good choices. Anyone else? Anyone else going once before I open this up? Going twice? All right, I'm going to open it up. So now, chat, the top 3 vote getters will go on to the final round. And the final round is going to be happening on Saturday. So you're going to have a few days, but Saturday will be the final vote. So please get in your vote, $vote space, and then the number of the game you'd like me to play. If you want me to try Darwin's Paradox, $vote space 1. If you want me to try Bravely Default, $vote space 2. If you want me to do Kathy Rain 2, $vote space 3. If you want me to do 6 Ages, $vote space 4. And the top 3 vote getters are going to go along. If we just have 2 obvious vote getters that are way ahead of everybody else, then we'll take those 2. We got to have more than 1. I would prefer 3, but I'll take 2. This 1 vote for each, however, just will not do. This will simply not occur. While the votes are going on, please continue to vote. Please do get in your votes. I do want to mention, go over the schedule here quickly. So Community D&D happening tomorrow night with the Shadow Crew. Thursday night is going to be D&D with viewers. That'll be our last session of Up the Beanstalk happening Thursday night. Saturday the 13th is the premiere of 007 First Light. Very excited for that. Even though I know everyone in the world is playing it, I still want to play it. I really want Alpha Protocol 2, so this is as close as I'm going to get. I'm excited to give it a shot. Then Tuesday the 2nd is going to be, Tuesday the 16th rather, 1 week from today. We have got the Patreon-fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month, which we're going to find out about by the end of this week. Pen and Pixels, that is not accurate. Eastshade is not on GOG. I keep thinking that it is, and it's not. So I don't know yet. Maybe Legends of Amberland I might end up doing. I'm not sure. I have to think about it. I'm not sure yet what I'm doing for Pen and Pixels. And then the 16th, the evening of the 16th, will be the Our Vocalist with More Citizen Sleeper 2. Thursday the 18th will be Gloomhaven with my good friend Zach Clay, our playthrough of that. Saturday the 20th will be our big, literally final concluding episode of Eberron, Oracle of War. It's a post-mortem episode. We'll be talking a little bit about what the campaign was like, this 5-year campaign, talking about some highlights of the campaign for the players and for me. And they'll have a chance to ask me some questions about if you ever wanted to like look behind the scenes about stuff I was thinking about during that campaign. This is the chance to get those questions in. We'll also do a little bit of previewing the Dragonlance campaign to come. So that's going to be cool. That'll be Saturday the 20th. Then Tuesday the 23rd, 2 weeks from today, again, Dragonbane with everybody but Crocs. And then Pen and Pixels, again, I don't know what I'm doing for that. And then Wednesday the 24th will be Community D&D. Now, at that point, no, it is not. It is not. It's just, no, it's not. It's a kind of a blobber mover, which is sort of like in the Legend of Grimrock category or the Might and Magic category. It's sort of like that, unfortunately, not Amberland. If Prince Justin hasn't voted himself. Is that true that Prince Justin... Because you're right. If that turns out to be a vote... Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely, I would give it a vote for that because Prince Justin would be voting for it. That's a good call. 100% Effect Life. Good call. Okay. Never mind. I removed that. Okay, so now we're at perfect. 3 out of 2. It works. Okay. One other thing that I wanted to note was starting on the 25th of this month, things are going to be a little dicey for a couple of weeks because I'm going to be away. First, I'm going to be on the West Coast, starting out in San Francisco, about which more in a moment. Then when I get back from that, I'm going to be at ReaderCon in Boston, and that will be the weekend of the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Now, I just found out that I got my draft schedule. I'm not at liberty to announce what it is yet, so this may shift a little bit. So I'm not going to name the official things, but I have been given 5 panels and a reading. That is a lot for ReaderCon. ReaderCon usually gives you like 2, maybe 3. And I've been doing ReaderCon for over 10 years. I think this is the first time that I've ever had that many, which is cool. I like having those panels, but I was like, wow. So 5 panels and a reading. So I've got a lot going on at ReaderCon. Which is good. ReaderCon's a good con, and obviously I love being in Boston, so specifically Burlington. I'll be a very busy man. My daughter will be with me. Little Larv will be with me, so she'll be with me for that. And then I'll be selling some books there too. And then I'll come back, and then the weeks of... So I should be able to get a stream in during that time. I might be able to stream on the 9th, and I might be able to stream on the 11th. We'll see. Then after that, things are pretty much normal all the way through Tuesday, the 28th of June, at which point I may cancel Pen and Pixels and just do my regular stream. I'll have to see, because then we're going to be going to Gen Con, huzzah, which we'll be at until the first week of August is over. So basically we'll be there until I think we'll be back on like Tuesday, the 4th of August. Then should be pretty normal, although I may be going to Worldcon in LA. That seems likely. So I would be gone for maybe a weekend. After that, the fall begins. I'll be here through fall. And the only time I should miss anything other than maybe some family event or something might be for CanCon in October, but otherwise should be pretty normal there. So big thing to remember is just that end of June into the first part of July is going to be a little bit up about there. So it's going to be great. Enough ARV for everyone too. ARV should make sure there's enough. Listen, I'm frequently reminded. But yeah, no, I'm excited about that. And also excited about, I should have some, knock on wood, some good news coming about some of those planes I've been talking about landing soon about different things professionally. So I'm excited for that. We shall see. All right. So it looks like last call, but it looks like right now, if someone wants to change their vote from Bravely Default to Kathy Rain, or from Kathy Rain to Bravely Default, or if someone wants to jump in and add a vote to one of those two, then those will be whatever that vote turns out to be. That'll be the 3 that go through. If we don't do that, then Darwin's Paradox and 6 Ages are the 2 top vote getters, and they will be the ones that will go on to the final vote. All of these I think are fine. Big Boss, also Darwin's Paradox as this octopus. This is not horror based in any way, right? I'm sure that you wouldn't nominate one, but I just want to make sure. Again, nothing against horror, just me personally does not compute with the horror. Although I did play Dredge, and I like that. Spooky is different. Also Strange Antiquities. Spooky is different, but horror, no much. Looks like a Pixar movie. Okay, it's fine. No, I mean, like I like spooky. I can definitely do spooky. I hate jump scare and I hate horror. So that's all. Cool. All right. Last call. So going once. Just because there are cephalopods doesn't mean it's horror. Listen, I've seen enough tentacles. All right. Going twice and. Okay. The vote is concluded, and that means that the 2 for today, for this month, will be Darwin's Sorriest Terma, but keep at it, like, let you know, as you know, eventually this will come through. Same thing with Echo when you're watching this later. Cathy Rain 2 will come through eventually. Darwin's Paradox and 6 Ages. Those are the 2. Darwin's Paradox and 6 Ages. Those are going to go into, my wonderful mods are going to make that into a final, or into a vote category for next game. And then that will be available to you. Please note the smaller timeline. This is only going to be available to you until Saturday night after my stream on whatever the heck I just said it was, which I think is, what did I say? Oh yeah, 007. After my stream of 007, we will then do the next game for the following Tuesday. So, all right. So Darwin's Paradox and 6 Ages are the 2. Either one of those is fine. I am fine for either one of those. Great. All right. Yes, I want to close the application. And thanks as always to Effect Life for building ArvBot Plus. So that, folks, is going to do it for me here, but it's not going to do it for me overall, because at the top of the hour, I am going to be playing and finishing Viewfinder, which was a game originally that started as a Patreon-fueled chat-chosen game of the month here, and then I moved over to GOG because it's available on GOG. I don't know what I'll be doing, as I said, next week or the week after on GOG. Might be Legends of Amberland. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. Because it definitely can't be Eastshade, because Eastshade is not on GOG, even though it feels like a game that's perfectly suited for it, so I don't understand what the delay is. But anyway, above my pay grade, I have no idea. But regardless, we are going to have a chance to play and finish some Viewfinder today. Really been having a lot of fun with that. Otherwise, tomorrow we've got Community D&D with the Shadow Crew tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, D&D with viewers, finishing up. That'll be the last session of Up the Beanstalk before we go to something else that we're going to do with D&D with viewers. So definitely want to make sure you are around for that. I want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream today. Thank you to everyone, first of all, who followed the channel. If you like what you saw and heard, whoops, well, hold on a second. Big, long wall of text. Hold on. Halloween game is not released. Sublustrum, psychological thriller, point and click, bit of the Room vibe. Remake of a 2008 game. From what I read, doesn't have any jump scares. More focused on the W2F factor. Haven't played the original. Ever seen anything about it? Be a surprise for me as well. Okay, very cool. Very cool. And actually, you just gave me a thought, Effect Life, which is Room 2. I'm trying to remember if the Room was on. Hang on a second. Nope. It's not on GOG, man. It's only... that's annoying. Because I suddenly thought, I'm like, wait a minute, maybe if the Room was on GOG, I could do that. Because I played the first one and I really liked that. And I was like, maybe I could do 2 or 3, but it's not on there. Sadly, it is not. I will, I'll check that out. I will definitely do that. But anyway, so if you like what you saw and heard, I hope you will follow the channel. Let me just check and see if that looks good. That link that Triffa just posted. Yes, it looks like it's working. So please get your votes in at that link, everybody. Please get your votes in at that link. You will have until Saturday to do so, but please get that vote in, and we will find out what game I'm going to play. Thank you, Triffid, as always. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel. Please check out my YouTube at !ArvTube and subscribe to me over there. Continue to build our subscriber list over there, which is awesome, so continue to keep that up. As well, please make sure that you check out our Discord, !ArvCord. That is always hopping. Please also check out my Blue Sky, up to a new record number of subscriber followers over there. Closing in, I think, on my Twitter number, because I am up to 1,250 now on Blue Sky, and I think I have more than I had on Twitter, and I have way more engagement than I ever had on Twitter. Were it not, beyond the fact that it's now a, Nazi bar. So I'm glad not to be in the Nazi bar anymore. But anyway, !ArvSky for that website, arvaneleron.com. Financially, !Arv Shop. That's the merchandise area where you can get stuff, cool swag for yourself and cool stuff for the channel. Patreon is !Arv Treon. We've gotten a few new subscribers over there, a couple of free, one paid. Please do jump on board. If you jump on board the paid one, you'll get some more cool stuff for you. So please join us for that. That is the Patreon, !Arv Treon. Yeah, no, I totally agree, Craigery. Not anymore. A few years ago, but not anymore, which is really, it's not a great thing because I do think there is some value to having the social media public square, but not the way that, not under current circumstances. Let's see. Subbing to the channel gets you those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. On the publishing front, Icarus, my graphic novel from Mathis Arts, Library. That's my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. An Greyshade is my Greyshade IP, Greyshade Renegade Heretic, critically acclaimed award-winning books from Mathis Arts. You can get those now. You can also get the audiobook of Greyshade Renegade and Heretic available at that link from our very own Trent Sparks, and you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade, designed by our very own Brandon O'Brien, which is coming out from Alligator Alley as well very soon, actually, so you can pre-order that as well. Please do, and please spread the word. And as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives, Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message that we will do so for others in that situation in the future. And again, continued love to the people of Minnesota, specifically Minneapolis, to the people of Memphis, to the people of Newark, New Jersey, who are continuing to battle against federal occupation. If you saw last night the Knicks Spurs game and watched the guy being booed to within an inch of his life, you will know that that is not just a symbol of, oh, he's New York City. That is also a symbol of a person who is losing and losing big. We need to keep it up, though, because the power still remains while the losing is happening. So we need to keep it up, and that means we need to keep the fighting up. We are turning the tide. We are turning the corner, but we got to keep things going. So thank you for all those who continue to inspire us in that fight. Thank you to my wonderful mods. Thank you to Prince Justin, who is never here. Thank you to Triffity Mats. Thank you to Tari Tunes, of course. Best mods in the business. Thank you to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers, Prince Justin, Triffity Mats. Thank you to Effect Life, to Big Boss, and to Trendane. And thank you so much to my regular viewers. Thank you to Adam Hartmother, to Black Fury, to Butthurt Gamer, to Craigery. Thank you to Intensely Eric. Hey, Eric. Thank you to Jagtrist, to Mr. Jonas. Thank you to the Airmaster. Thank you to TNS Mephiston. What's up, TNS? And thank you to Valerian Gamer. Hello, Valerian. Thanks to everyone who's watching on YouTube as well. And much thanks and love tonight, especially to my wonderful Dragonbane players. Thank you again to Crocs. Thank you to Tari Tunes. Thank you to Tren. And thank you to Undeveloped Bruce. I'll see you folks at the top of the hour over on GOG for the finale of Viewfinder. And then I'll see you back here tomorrow for Community D&D with the Shadow Crew, more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. And then Thursday for the finale of D&D with viewers Up the Beanstalk. But until I see you this afternoon over at GOG, thanks everyone for being here. Much love. And I'll see you folks soon. Until then, everyone, always please be good to each other and have a good day.